Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Just getting set up here. If you're in the chat, say hi. We're going to be getting started in a couple minutes here with the sub battle. Hello, hello, Sean Pinto. How's it going? Going to be exciting day. Hey, how's everyone doing? Okay, guys. So I'm going to be actually streaming with Robert in just a little bit. So it'll be fun. But for now, we're just going to do a roll call. So if you've signed up on Arena and you're here in the chat and you're ready to play, let me know so I can put you in. I'm gonna give preference to people who signed up earlier, but we didn't fill up all the spots, so hopefully we can fill up everyone today. All right, so we got Chess Falcon, and then Nufade. You weren't sure if you were playing today. Are you good to go? You'll be one of the first people up. Okay, Boryov, you're also here. Cool. Boryov. Gotcha. Awesome, ranked. Awesome. Sounds good. All right, Nufade's in. Michiko's here. I assume you're all available since you're here, so I'm going to start putting in people. So yeah, Michiko and Nufade, you both are in. And then let's see, do we have Phenom Monkey? I saw you here. Do you want to play? We haven't had you in yet. Be happy to put you in. Awesome. All right, you're in. Banausos plays for us every time, PB Corporeal, but every time they're like, please get someone else. Although they've done pretty well, but I'm happy to give others a chance. All right, so we got Phenom Monkey in. Okay, 12 to 1300 group is Valen is bored. Is Valen here? Bored Valen. Looking for bored Valen. Let me know if you're in the chat. And I'll confirm to get you in. Bored Valen. Oh, one sec, guys. I'm going to set up the call with Roberts. So I'll be back in a few minutes.
So
Oh,
I'm
cool.
gonna just start picking people.
Yeah, I think we got players. If you want, maybe we could mute each other real quick just so we can
Sure.
confirm folks.
Sounds good.
And then yeah, see you in about like 5 minutes or so.
Sounds perfect.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right, guys. So yeah, once again, let me know if you signed up and you're ready to play. Let me know. Yeah, Nufate is in Boondock Striker, so you are you are on standby if they drop out the next 10 minutes. Okay, Chess Falcon is here. What about Board Valen? Board Valen signed up, but I don't know if they're here. And if they're not here, we're gonna need a player for the 12 to 1300 group. All right, Chess Falcon is in. Chess numbers, you're here as well. How about Kaneki 1? Is Kaneki 1 here? All right, Scooty, you're here. Great. Got you in. So I think we might need a player for the 12 to 1300 bracket and 13 to 1400 bracket. Wow, John Urschel is playing for GMS. Damn. Kaneki, you're here. Yeah, I'm just doing roll call so that I know that you're actually here and ready. But if you're in, then I will put you in. Because I'm sure sometimes people sign up and then don't show up. So I want to make sure you're here and then you can play. Yeah, but also I'll put you in for the 1200 spot. That's fine. Sounds good to me. Okay, 1700 bracket. Travkuskin, Tim Westlund, are you here? Tim Westlund is here. Very cool. All right, you're in. Sure, ranked. I will ask. Okay, 1800 group. GM Reigns. Is GM Reigns here? Looks like we might need an 1800 and we might need a 1900. Chess.com Blitz. Yeah, Sofuya, Sean Pinto, we are good for the 1000 to 1200 bracket and 12 to 1300. Scooty thought we were all playing against Hess. Didn't you play the last sub battle? It's gonna be like that, like against, like we had against Anna Rudolph. Like where you play with brackets. Oh, is Thad in the house? Thad TM. Thad and Royaho. I would like to put you guys in. Royoho's here. All right, Royoho, I'm going to put you into the 21, 2200 bracket. And, okay, we still need a player 1800 to 1900, 1900 to 2000. And
Coach, you can hear me? Quick question.
Yeah. Hey.
Can we add 1100 to 1200 and then make that 1000 to 1100
Um.
down towards the bottom? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah. Actually, I think we have. Yeah, we have another. I think we have a player. So 1,000 to 1,100.
Yeah, just because yeah, that rating range, I was gonna put people in, and then I just thought maybe I could we could take one of the other rating ranges and change it, like or take one off. I don't know which one you prefer.
Maybe we can add one. I actually have a player between 22 and 2,300.
Let's do it then.
All right, cool. So
All right,
we'll add two.
cool. I'll add the one. What am I adding? 1100, 1200, and then this one will be 1000. Cool. I'll mute myself and go back to yelling at my teammate.
Sounds good. All right, Rinks, you are in. Yeah, we need 1,800, 1,900, and possibly 2,000. Though I'm hoping Thad shows up. Oh, now we need a player between 1,000 and 1,100. Oh, whoops, this got messed up a little bit. Yeah, Thorbittles, it's gonna be a while, so yeah, I can definitely put you in for the 1,900 group. That'd be awesome. And Hull Guild, if you want to play, I can put you in for the 1,000 to 1,100 bracket. Oh, Amanda signed up for GM Hess. Unbelievable. But that's fine. He needed some players. That's okay with us. Maybe we have Arusha in the chat. Arusha also signed up. And maybe... Oh, Steve North, you were available to play, right? We might actually need you, Steve North. All right, both Hull Guild and Steve North are here in case no one shows up. But one of you guys is going to need to step up. I would be happy to have Steve North play because Hull Guild has played one of these before. So it'd be cool to give Steve North a chance. So Steve, if you're down, let me know. All right, you're gonna need to sign up for the event here. I don't know if you've done the arena sign up yet. It might take a second, but gonna need to click on the arena.gl/events link in the chat and then make sure you're signed up. All right, then we're gonna have Thor Biddles in for the 1,900 group. And okay, we still need an 1,800 and a 2,000. Possibly, Thinker, possibly. We'll see. Okay, wait. Steve North is out. All right, Hull Guild. Looks like we need you. We need you to take on Amandala. Although Amandala's not playing for their team, but still. Amanda withdrew. She couldn't do it to us. All right, Hull Guild. I will put you in. And then yeah, we still need an 1800 and 2000. I was really hoping Thad was gonna show up. Thad was doing really well. But I don't see Thad here. Maybe I'll message them on Discord. Oh yeah, let's fix the thing. Thank you. All right, Hull Guild is in. Hey, working class hero, how's it going? Yeah, maybe we'll skip a bracket or two. We'll see. Yeah, guys, just have fun. Try not to get too nervous. Win or lose, you know, you're all heroes. No one's getting kicked from the dojo. Just try to have fun. Some of you may lose your games. It might happen. I hope you all win, but some of you might lose. It is a thing that happens sometimes in chess. Sometimes you don't win, you know? But it's okay. Just have fun. Do your best for the team, and we'll be with you. All right, Thinker, I need you to sign up for the arena link. I'm going to post it in the chat so that I can actually add you in. You need to be a part of the roster on Arena. Hey, Ryan Blunder with the bits. Thanks so much. Good vibes, dude. Good vibes. But if you miss a tactic or you mess up a king and pawn end game, you are going to get some homework. But that's just for your own good. That's just for your own good. All right, Thinker. Let's see, I don't see you here yet. I think my list might need to update. Let me refresh. Did you sign up for the actual event, like the arena.gl/events link? And do you see yourself in the list of players? All right, you registered. Cool. Okay, here you are. 2100 on the nose. Beautiful. All right, guys, so now we just need an 1800 and then we're done. Although maybe we skip that bracket. We'll see. Yeah, if you want to sign up for our roster, you got to sign up on Arena to join the Chess Dojo team. So that's the link, arena.gl/chessdojo. If you want to sign up for this match specifically, got to sign up for arena.gl/events. Although we pretty much have all of our players, because it's just going to be one board per bracket. And we're just looking for an 18 to 1900 player. Hey, Chess Latte. How's it going? All right, thanks, Working Class Hero. Much appreciated. Mr. Fur with the Prime sub. Thanks so much. Yeah, gonna be fun, guys. Try to play quick, but not too fast. Don't rush. Try to maintain a balanced diet of quick moves and slow moves. If the position is complicated, you can definitely spend your time, and you should. But try not to spend too much time, because one way or the other, it's going to come down to time trouble. And no one plays well in time trouble. Thanks, Michigo, for the bits. Oh, we got a hype train, guys. Well done. Nice job. Time control is 3+2. 3+2, that's the time control for all these sub battles. And in case of a draw, guys, we're going to replay the match so that we get a decisive result on each board. Hey, thanks, Steve Nash. 7 months, much appreciated. Chess Latte, thanks for the bits. You guys are awesome. Hopefully everyone is having a good Sunday. Wow, hurricane. I didn't know it. Actually, I haven't heard about too many hurricanes. That's funny. We kind of missed hurricane season. I wonder why that is. Or is hurricane season only starting? Yeah, mommy, if you want to play, we'll gift you a sub, no problem. Yeah, but you got to sign up on the you got to be signed up for the roster. So sign up for Arena and then join the event using that bottom link in the chat, arena.gl/events. But yeah, if you want to play, we'll gift you a sub. How do we do against Honor Rudolph? We actually lost by 1 point. It was a 7 board match, and then we ended up losing the last game. Though we were a little bit underrated on that game, so what are you gonna do? Foster guinea pig. Nice. Thanks, Michiko. So, mommy, let me know when you're signed up on Arena, and I'll put you in. Singtel, we are good in the 2000 bracket. Yeah, just gonna be one player for each bracket. But you can sign up for future matches, right? Because normally this would be way too late once the sub battle is like about to start. But you can sign up for future battles by joining our roster on arena.gl/chessdojo. Because we're also going to be doing another one next Sunday against Samei Reina's team. Okay, mommy, I see you here. Awesome. Great stuff. Let me see if I can gift you a sub. Actually, be easier if you said something so I could find your username real quick. Yeah, Chess Falcon, don't worry. We'll gift you one too. Did it work? Yay, it worked. It went through. Yeah, absolutely. Mommy, if you say something in the chat, that'd be easier for me to find you, so I can also gift you a sub. All right, sweet. User actions. Ban user. No, just kidding.
Kostya, I can't find 2100s, 2300s. I have a 2500 though.
Hey, that's okay. If you can't find players, you can find them. Our guys will be a little disappointed, but there was there is no guarantee. So then
Uh,
we'll just do 11 boards.
well, I don't know. We did odds in one match where Tayab had to give time odds, and it didn't go well for him because the odds were pretty substantial. But I don't know. Oh, it wasn't Tayab. Oh, it was Amir. That's right. It was Amir. But anyway, we had time odds game that was not the best for our team, but we could do time odds on that, or yeah,
Hmm.
or I could. Yeah, I mean, I want everyone to play, so I don't want to take away boards.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I mean, we could we could definitely start the sub battle, and then maybe um, you'll get another player by the time we get up there.
Sounds good.
Um, but
Sounds like you.
yeah, let me see if ranked would want to play with timeouts against the 2530.
Oh, someone just said they're 2201. So if that person is 2201, just join the battle. Don't tell me that in the chat. Just join the battle.
Yeah,
Sorry.
perfect.
But yeah, let's start the. Oh wait, we're starting from the top, so it's hard to start.
Oh, let's start
uh,
from the bottom.
oh right, start from the bottom. Yes, you said that. Right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, all good, all good. Okay, ranked is down. So, yeah, our top player, Tal's tactician. Yeah, they're happy to play with the timeouts.
Okay, so we'll do that, and then the 2200 who's 2201 who's joining will join, and then we can get that going.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So is Michigo ready? Because caffeine and Michigo have to start. So
Uh, Michiko is here. Do you want to? Are you gonna do the automated pairings?
yeah, I was just gonna copy the string and do that.
Sounds good. All right, so yeah, go ahead and go to live chess, Michiko, and yeah, make sure to mute the stream. And good luck, everybody.
And the same is true for everyone in my channel. If you're playing, well, first of all, before we even start, go to the Chess Dojo channel right now. It's Chess Dojo Live, and go give a follow. Because if you do not follow the channel, you're missing out. People were joking earlier, Kosti, like, oh, the 2000 high rating. And yeah, it is a high rating. But you know what will help you get a higher rating, everybody? Going to Chess Dojo Live, watching their very instructive content, led by Kostya, Jesse, and David. Did I miss anybody? Or it's you three, right?
It's the three of us. Yeah, thanks, Robert. Much appreciate. You guys should go follow Robert as well.
Probably don't do that, but yeah, appreciate it, Kostya. And with that being said, if you're playing, tune out the streams for your matches, and otherwise, good luck to everybody. What's your team's record, by the way, Kostya?
Ooh, we are 1-2, so 1 out of 3 for now.
Gotcha. We lose every match, so. All right. Well, the lineup is filled.
It's tough
So
out there. It's tough.
it is. But we're underway. I just started the game between Michiko and Caffeine Addicts, and they're off.
All right, cool. Let me
Oh,
follow.
I'm gonna have to ban Caffeine Addicts because a London has been played, and just why?
Hmm.
Why do that to me?
Yeah, you have that rule as well, huh?
uh, it's a good rule, I feel like, because no, in all seriousness, the London, or you know where to put your pieces, very natural setup. what I do find hard, and Kostia, you can correct me if you feel differently, is that after the initial setup, sometimes players who are newer to chess, they struggle with coming up with an idea because the positions often are more closed than some other lines.
Yeah. No, I'd say I like to say it's a good opening for like beginners and like elite players who can just play whatever they want. I have to take, okay, a quick timeout to say thank you to user unclear. I normally don't do this, but they just gifted 20 subs in our chat. So that's huge. That's much appreciated.
That is amazing. User Unclear being so generous today, both in my channel now and in the Chess Dojo live channel. So thank you so much. It's unclear who you are based on your your name, but we do greatly appreciate it. What's going on in our fight right now? Looks like a knight was jumped in the center. Only one uh, pair of minor pieces. The knight for black and the bishop for white were traded, giving the semi-open H file. But this is a good fight.
Yeah. Um, your guy playing very well right now. I like this bishop b1 move. Very logical.
And we'll see if Caffeine Addicts how follows up that plan after bishop to b1. But yeah, that was what Coach and I were both thinking about because forming a battery, that's usually a good thing.
Seemed like the idea. Yeah, yeah. Okay, looks like our guy Tal's tactician is apparently friends with the 2500 in real life,
Oh,
and he's down to play straight up, no time odds.
wow. Okay.
So
Well,
I'm cool with that. I respect it.
oh, well, we'll see when we get there because if it's like for the match, if it's even, maybe we shouldn't. But if the match is already decided one way or the other, then that sounds perfectly fine to me, of course.
Cool, cool.
And Caffeine Addicts playing aggressive chess.
Oh no, Queen c2. What happened?
Oh,
Oh, we tried to get out. King f7. Needed to go
oh,
f5 there. Only move.
that's right. And I thought that first of all, Michiko made a great move with f6 in the first place because I think that oftentimes players struggle with moving pawns in front of their king. So f6 is trying to open up the position more to challenge the pawn e5 is great. And as you said, Coach, after queen c to f, and it's hard like once you push the pawn one square to then move it again because Michiko could have played f5 to begin with. So it's just that sort of mental struggle with I know I just moved a piece, but let's move it again and block the diagonal. And this was definitely a good fight at that point.
Yeah, no, f6 actually was very clever because it like now in queen c2 you can play f5 without even worrying about like en passant. So I thought f6 is actually like really nice move, but yeah, unfortunately we had to shut it down. But all right, guys, no worries. GG's.
Yep.
I'll mark the score if you want to get the next matchup ready.
Okay. And well, I'll also give you time to whatchamacallit, to follow the players, so that way you can get that up.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wait.
I think this is the first lead my team's ever had in a sub battle.
Brutal. How have you been enjoying it so far?
It's a lot of fun. It's one of these things that the community really appreciates, I'd say. And I find it a really nice balance where it's just fun for everybody, and then you can also be instructive and show moments where players made mistakes. And I mean, you're a very tight knit community. It seems like Kostya, and just the ability for the players to have their games gone over. I think they all appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I get a little nervous like playing, but on stream. But yeah, I think overall it's great fun. I really like the format. Like it's very competitive. Lots of great teams. We get to collaborate. Like it's really cool.
My main complaint is that everyone I've played so far is just way too nice. I need to play against Blitzstream and against Samai because everyone so far just super good people who I feel bad trash talking to.
Mm-hmm. It's too
Right?
wholesome.
Anna Kramling, Anna Rudolph, Eric Rosen, and now I'm up against you. So very little wiggle room to be a jerk.
I know it's hard. We play with Anna Rudolph, and yeah, like she's so nice. Like we lost the match, but it was just like I just didn't care. It's just I was happy for her. It's so hard to root against.
It's true, right? Everyone is just so kind that it's like a win is sort of a loss for your team. I feel that way now. I mean, Michiko is great and has also hangs out in my channel and wish my team luck beforehand. So it's tough to see people who are so positive lose a game, but it's all for fun. And I always want to remind people, especially for the players on the initial boards that we're playing here with these ratings, that everybody loses. There's nothing to be shy or embarrassed about. So just play your best chess, do what you can, and obviously Kostya and myself, we're not judging. We're happy to help and talk about moments where things could have been improved, but there's zero judgment on our end.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, I'll start the next battle.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, so Nofade, hopefully you're ready. Here we go. Oh, I see you're wearing the swag box hoodie, the arena hoodie.
I am. I love the color. I thought it was gonna be black, but then I was surprised with this like peachy pink plushy sort of hoodie. It's great.
Yeah. Also, it's like just the softest material I've ever felt in my life.
Yes, for sure. And I just wanted to, give that shout out back to Arena for hosting this, and it's a great event. So it's cool that we're doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Very cool site. All right, we got a Sicilian so
Okay.
far. I like what I'm seeing. Both sides just like developing good moves.
Yeah, it's actually just a well played opening, and quick decisions being made. But I like that from. Is it Nufate? You said you're.
Mm-hmm.
I never know if it's like fate. I don't know where things start and end with
Oh
no
yeah,
capitalization.
I mispronounce people all the time.
But I really like what I'm seeing from your player because that D4 break after taking on C6, just trying to take a great control over the center. I think it's a great start to the game for White. Not that Black has done anything wrong, but you can just see that Black is several moves down in terms of development.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which very playable in the Sicilian, but you have to know kind of how to handle it from here.
That's right.
You might be right. It might be New Fate. That actually makes a lot more sense than New Fade.
I like New Fade. It sounds good though.
Yeah, they've only been subbed to the channel for 16 months.
Hey, you don't hear their name out loud. It's it's all good. But I
So,
do. I like the way both players are playing.
ooh, all right. That's the first. Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, and it sort of went against how New Fate was playing. Oh no, let's go with New Fate. New Fate was playing because it seemed very tame approach, and then all of a sudden went really aggressive with that Bishop G5 move. So I don't know. I think that maybe it was a change of mentality at that moment. But Knight D5 first would have been a much better move because that's where you want to go to anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and Bishop G5 should be said would be great on basically any other move, like Knight F6, for example. Like Bishop G5 would be good there. But yeah, Bishop
Yeah,
E7 unfortunately just covers the square.
that's right. And still, though, it's definitely a game. At plenty of life left in the position. It is an extra piece. That Bishop on H6 is extra, but it's not the most open position, and mistakes happen in Blitz all the time. So your player's also well ahead in the clock.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Have you had a lot of turnarounds in these battles?
No, it's usually we're losing from the start and then lose by a lot in the finish. I'm in rare territory, Kostya.
I see. I see. I feel like we're often the side that's doing well, and then just something happens in the time scramble, something unfortunate. Because we actually we often preach not to play blitz, and blitz is not supposed to be great for the chess. So our players are not too experienced on the blitz side, but they do like to have fun.
My community just doesn't listen to me, so I don't really know what they do. And I also am like you, where I recommend, especially for this rating level, more so 10-minute games or rapid time controls, so that you can assess the positions more clearly rather than feeling rushed at every turn. So I'm with you there.
Yeah. Yeah, rapid's so much more useful. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, other than the missing piece, I love everything that the white has done. Like C4, knight on D5, it's strategically very sound.
Chess can be that brutal, where if it were not for that one move, White's, as you're saying, White's position would be excellent, but that one move was very costly.
Yeah. All right, black trades. I think that makes sense.
Hmm. That's also the pawn was under attack, so Mr. Ad Summer puts the bishop on a protected square. No Botez gambits right now.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. Now black's just gonna have to use this extra piece and convert.
But your player also up 20 seconds. The time advantage is pretty substantial, especially when the players get into bullet mode. Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
and New Fate. I keep going between New Fate and New Fate, but look at that. Realized the rook was on dragon. Now we have a very unclear flight where the bishops against a rook. By material, black should be ahead, but with the clock situation the way it is, and perhaps the nature of these double pawns that aren't can't be protected by other pawns, it gives white some serious hope.
Yeah, now we just basically got a bullet game. But you would probably take the two bishops here, right, against the rook?
I would, although yeah, I would definitely take black's position if you made me choose. Black is certainly better, but I was just trying to take into account like the fact that it's bullet, and sometimes I feel like bishops can be a bit sloppy compared to rooks.
Yeah, yeah, that's happened to me. Like I got two bishops, everything's great, and then it's like the end game and white's like eight pawn is promoting. Oh no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at this beautiful connect four that white has from G2 to D5, and now speaking of a pawns promoting,
Yeah. Wow, very sharp.
and also Mr. Adsummer suddenly started playing really fast and now has a lead on the clock. So, oh
Yeah. No, nice tactic there set up. Hmm.
yeah, unfortunately, that bishop, that extra bishop, which hasn't done anything since it won the P. That bishop has done two things all game. It won a free bishop and then it won a free rook.
Right, right. Oh, I like this bishop takes G2. No, very, very practical from black. Very practical.
Yeah. Honestly, if you made me guess these players' ratings without knowing in advance, I would say they both played substantially higher quality game than their ratings would suggest.
Yeah, yeah, same. Same. And yeah, I mean, I'll just let you know, we've been telling our folks not to resign just because stuff happens in these sub battles.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
my players know that for sure because I got mad at them for even thinking about resigning in previous battles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's always some freak stalemates. Their E5, crafty move. I love E5.
Oh my gosh! Please no! Please no! Whoa. Oh my gosh! Yeah, E5 was. I think if your player played H6 first here, then we might have seen a stalemate,
There was a chance, yeah.
right? Because that's what was lined up with this E5 move is taking away all the king's squares. But Mr. Adsummer
Yeah,
played a good game through and through.
Yeah, well done, well done.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Kosi, it really did come down to that Bishop G5 move. I would say that both players were playing well, and just White's Bishop G5 move was extremely costly.
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, it was very solid game. Oh yeah, Nufade, settle a question for us. Is it New Fate or is it Nufade? Now that's all I can think about.
It's what everyone wants to know.
All right, Hall Guild is ready.
Okay, let's see. Kaladin, you ready? Yeah, Kaladin's always ready. And people are now saying it's Nuff 8. They're just messing around. We'll never get the truth. And now that my players are telling me that they're teasing me to start by giving our team a lead.
Mm.
All right, well, I want to start the next one. Kaladin and Halgilde, good luck to you both. And we're off.
Yeah. Oh, you got it right. It is Hall Guild Day. Yeah, from Norway. or Hallgilda, to be really
Oh,
really accurate.
excuse me. I actually do try to be, as someone who commentates a lot and has to pronounce many different names, I'm
Hmm.
always trying to be as accurate as possible. Of course, we make mistakes because we don't know the people and we have never heard them say their names, but I think it is important to pronounce names properly if you can. So
Yeah. Are there
I'll
any you
continue.
struggle with, like any of the top players?
Yeah, I would say that recently, and I try to ask before I commentate, but report. He does not play very often, and most of the time I just see his name in writing and don't really hear it out loud. So I think it's Richard, but it's Richard. You know,
Hmm.
as an American, you see that name and you think Richard,
Yeah.
but I think it's pronounced Richard, or I might be butchering the pronunciation, but that's one of the names that I would say is a
Yeah.
struggle.
And then his last name I've heard like rapport,
Hmm.
and I have no idea.
I, I asked and I was told it's like the T is pronounced, so it's not like a French word.
Right.
Developed a nice rapport, but yeah, that's one of the names. Mainly just names that I haven't seen before. By the way, these players are also playing a pretty nice game. It's a very closed position. Looks like a close Sicilian, but it started with um an Alyekin that turned into a Pirt somehow. That turned into a Sicilian.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I did a lesson with Hallgilda on stream a little while back. I begged him to stop playing the Alekine, but okay, we're not ready for that yet.
See, that's another name. You said Alakine. I hear I said Alyakin, but I never know because everybody that I speak to pronounces it differently.
There's big controversy. So most Russians say Alyoshin.
Right. Because of well, you'd have to see it in Cyrillic to know that. Because the English, you'd never be able to.
Yeah,
Latin letters, I
but
should say.
apparently even that's like not like the way most Russians grew up hearing his name is not actually the way he liked his name pronounced. So he did like a hard K, is what I've seen from some like historical sources. So it's big
Interesting.
controversy. Yeah, no one really knows.
Interesting. Well, I don't for sure, and that's good to know. And I'm now caught up in this game here. It looks like both players still playing just good chess. And how many black pieces are aiming at e5? Four?
A lot. Yeah, I like what Black has done. This knight g4 move was nice, and now Black gets the pawn. But yeah, could still be some disaster on the king side if we're not careful.
Also, Halgilda playing so quickly.
Yeah,
Very impressive.
yeah, playing well. And they're one of those guys that's like, oh, I'm not a good blitz player, you know.
And then is playing a beautiful game and also up on time. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
game, this position is super complicated right now because only two pawns have been lost for white and one pawn for black. There's a pin. The knights are very weird, both on g4 and g5.
Mm. Oh, I don't
And
like
Ben Feingold,
f6.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ben Feingold would be very mad right now.
Okay, it might kind of work out here, but yeah, f6 should have been a disaster. Just knight takes e6 immediately would have been killing.
Exactly. And now it's very much a game still because white temporarily up a piece for a pawn, although black has some captures to think about here.
Yeah, he's thinking about it. But yeah, I think queen takes. That feels like the right choice.
I agree.
Yeah, otherwise white would have gone in like rook a1 with tempo and very active. Okay, now white trades.
Hmm. And the bishop pair, the Fee and Kedr bishops look excellent, although white's pieces don't look too shabby either. So it's,
Ooh, knight e2.
yeah. See, that's too much Ben Feingold advice. Always retreat. You don't always want to retreat, and that was not a moment where you should have. But we can mention that after the game.
Right. Yeah.
Bishop d5 though, excellent as a response.
Yeah. Okay, so black keeps the extra pawn, but it's not like, yeah, not the healthiest. Yeah, it's doubled on the g file. Can't really make a pass pawn with those three. So, yeah, very much, Yeah, very much still a game here. Although the time advantage is certainly nice for black.
That's right. And Hal Gilda could have taken that pawn on b2. So I think that he was a little preoccupied with improving every one of his pieces, and he brought the rook from a8 to the open file on e8, which was great. But that b2 pawn was hanging before.
Right, right. Okay, that's a good recapture with the bishop on d4. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Though now white's knight was also given a square, and white uses it. Very good.
And knights against bishops, I think, are very tricky for most people because bishops, we're often told they're great, especially with pawns on both sides of the board. But we see the power a knight can have against a bishop. That bishop can't touch that knight on e4, whereas that knight can jump around from color complex to color complex and cause the bishop some difficulties. Although the bishop on d4 is superbly placed.
Yeah, and it's just like just harder to predict where the knight is like hitting. Like the bishop is just so easy to see when something's on the diagonal, but for knight forks and like where the knight's going to be hitting once it moves, like this, of course, gets a lot of people in blitz and bullet.
Very
Of all
true.
levels, I think it's just harder for everyone just to track the knight.
Oh yeah, knight forks are the easiest thing to miss, and I love the way Hoggild is playing this game. Though yes, sometimes where there are other moves that could have been played, but this rook on e2, this bishop on d4, looking very sturdy, and also up half a minute on the clock.
Yeah, yeah, I like rookie too there. That was a nice quick move. But okay, it's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to the time scramble.
I liked king h5, and then I really liked the response h3, just to say your king's not getting in anywhere.
Yeah, he just goes, never mind. Just goes,
Goes right back. But that was an important move for white to gain, this h3 move, because there's no back rank checkmates and exactly this turn rook f4. Whereas if those, king h5 and h3 hadn't been included, there would be a back rank checkmate.
yeah. Okay.
Ooh,
Freaking game a4. Well done.
I like it. I like it. Playing for the win. I'm not rooting for your player, obviously, but I do really appreciate that move that was played.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I just want to see like good chess. I'm rooting for our guys, but like I mean, there have been so many times when the opposing player just like plays a really good, clean game. It's just that's good. I like it.
This is one of them. Exactly what you're describing. Now black is up 2 pawns. Yes, that black king should have gone forward rather than getting greedy and taking that pawn on b4 just a moment ago, but this is still mop up duty right now for black.
Yeah, this was really nice by Hall Gilday. I'm proud of him. He's played well.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
Callan
cheeky
offered a
draw
draw.
offer.
I wonder if that was on purpose or just one of those like they're draw and resign are right next to each other. But draw declined and resignation. Did I see that correctly?
Unbelievable.
Oh my goodness, Kaladin. If you've learned one thing in this channel, it's you never, ever, ever, ever resign in a sub battle. Okay, how to get that out of my system.
Yeah, you never know, guys. You never know. But yeah, GG Hall Gilday. Well done. Well played.
That was a very good game by Hallgilda. And Callan, no, don't apologize. I'm really just kidding. People should never apologize for losing or decisions they made. But I would say that Hallgilda throughout that game played really, really excellent chess. There are a couple moments that Kostya and I pointed out. I guess the moment where Black decided to play f6. It was a very tricky tactical position, and f6 should have been punished immediately with knight takes e6. That bishop on a2 is a spy against the king on g8, and knight takes e6 is a fork as well. So you'll have a bunch of discovered checks.
Yeah.
So that's what white missed. And what would you say where Hallgilda had moments that could have gone better for?
So yeah, I would say like instead of f6, probably they were, I mean, really concerned with the pin. I would say something like h6 would be more natural. And then there's so many defenders on e5, you could literally just like unpin with the queen, and your knight is still should be defended after, let's say, h6, and then queen can move away. But no, overall, very solid game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that bishop d5 move that Hallgilda made when Kaladin moved the knight away from c3 to e2, that was a really great response because Kaladin probably should have just snapped off that pawn e6
Yeah.
instead of retreating the knight. But bishop d5, excellent recognition, and then the pawn b2 was under attack. That was something that could have been captured, but I just liked all of Hallgild's moves. They had a clear purpose, and yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah. Yeah. Very solid.
All right, so it's Fort against Phenom Monkey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
I
Phenom is ready.
let us not have them wait any longer. I will put the match command in, and good luck to both of the players as we're off. Okay.
All right.
I like Phenom Monkey's photo, the profile photo up there.
Oh yeah, what is that?
I was thinking it's just a monkey, but now I don't think it is.
To me, it looks like a
Yeah,
couple of teddy bears.
yeah, bears, which is weird when your username has monkey in it. That feels like betraying your username.
Yeah, it's like choose one animal.
Stop making our lives so difficult. And did you teach Phenom Monkey this opening? Because d4, knight c3, f3.
This is no, this is not something we've looked at. I don't think I've given him any lessons that I can remember. I know him. We actually met in person here in St. Louis a couple years ago, but I think this is I think they're like a Jobava London fan, and this is
That
kind
would
of like yeah another way to play it.
Yeah, it has like Jabawa London fantasy variation of the Caro-Kann mixed in, but Fort is playing this like a French with a bishop that's outside the pawn chain. So I guess playing it like a Caro-Kann. That's what a
Hmm.
Caro-Kann is, a French with the bishop outside the chain.
Yeah, it looks solid for black. I like c5, just getting that bishop on this diagonal.
Hmm. And it is illegal for white to castle because the bishop is aiming at the g1 square. You can't castle in the check. And I think that's the biggest reason that coaches tell students not to move that golden pawn. F7 and F2 are the golden pawns, and that's a big reason that we discourage people from playing. Not that it's bad to you should never do it, but in this particular position, it's causing white some difficulty to castle.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's risky most of the time. There are very specific cases where it's good, but it often just comes back to bite you for being too weakening. And that's why Ben Feingold, he's just like, just don't do it at all. It's like, it's bad most of the time. Just don't do it.
For sure. Knight to on b5, trying to be menacing over there, and white then just plays a tame a3 afterwards. So this game has been solid by both players.
Yeah. But I get the feeling White doesn't really know where to, like what to do or where to castle. Like a3 b4, I would say kind of the wrong approach. I think I would have just preferred queen d2, castle queenside, and just play that position. But now we
That's a
have
good call.
like our king stuck in the center, and yeah, it could be risky.
Yeah, it feels like Black's play thus far has been very tidy. Like it's a compact structure. All of the pieces have developed to great natural squares, and White has been hopping all over the place without a clear plan. So yeah, you're totally right, Coach. That b4 makes it much harder to castle queenside because your king will be exposed in that way. And wow, Fort is now saying it's time for me to get aggressive, whereas White has been the one to this point that's played the aggressive chess.
But yeah, very, very principled play, f5. And now center's opening up, and yeah, White's king starts to feel very uncomfortable. At a certain point, I think I would just castle queenside. I would just like close my eyes, say, for better or worse.
Yeah. This is a pretty critical moment, and D takes e4 played after a 20-second thing. So the lead on the clock for Black is nice. I would say the annoying thing about a position like this, Kostya, is from Black's perspective, you look like you should be about to attack. Your opponent's king is in the center, but then there's no clear exact plan. And a queen trade is certainly not the right decision because when you have the safer king, you typically want to keep the queens on the board unless you're getting something concrete out of it. And not that Black's position is bad, but now all of a sudden the fact that White hasn't castled and will not be able to doesn't play as big a role.
Yeah, not such a big deal. No, I think you called it right. Although Black's position still looks like very very nice with like the two rooks, but yeah, I felt like he wasn't exactly sure how to attack and just ends up going for this somewhat concrete line. I call it, the burden of having a good position in blitz when it's like trying to find good moves can be a problem but it's still way ahead on the clock. So I feel like Black is just should have good chances here.
Yeah, and let's see how White responds. Knight jumped into d4, so Black really has first established a solid position, then decided to break it open, and now Bishop takes e5. So White steals a pawn in the center of the board. Lots of pieces on the e file, so we'll see if that plays a part here. But nothing at the moment is hanging for White.
Yeah. You know, yeah, risky pawn to take, but well, might as well. If you don't see, I like to say, like, if you don't see why you can't take the pawn, then probably you should take it and let your opponent teach you a lesson. Kind of like win-win.
Yasser would be very proud. He's like the ultimate pawn grabber, of course, in
Yeah.
positions that call for it. But sometimes players like, no, I'm risk averse. I don't want that pawn. It's get me in trouble. Other players like, no, give me the material. I'll be fine.
Yeah, it's the favorite running joke because I'm watching like the St. Louis commentary all day, following the Sinkfield Cup, and yeah, whenever anyone grabs a pawn, it's like, oh, treasurer of the Pawn Grubber Society, vice president of the Pawn Grubber Society. They love handing out
Exactly.
rolls.
Exactly. Well, White is just down so much time here. White has done well to honestly survive and make sure that the king has remained protected, but now down under 10 seconds.
Yeah, yeah, that's just the biggest issue here. Yeah, the play has been more or less all right, but yeah, it's just the time usage last couple moves. Okay, hopefully starts to speed up now. That's a good sign.
Those bishops being great defenders, covering some of the board's most important squares. And okay. Oh, that is a very tricky move, but I'm not sure. That's also a tricky move. Wow, both these players. That was nice because the f5 knight looked loose, but the bishop on d3 was pinned.
Yeah, Rook F7. I mean, yeah, I don't know if it was intentional, but very, very crafty move for sure.
4.8 seconds left for White.
Oh
This looks
man.
like a going to be a loss on in a time situation problem for White more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, like even if he gets his moves in, it's just so easy to blunder.
But so far, amazing play by Phenom Monkey.
Yeah, he's not
Oh,
flagging.
are we about to see a draw by repetition? Look good on Fort for thinking because knight d4 would have forced the draw. It would have
Yeah.
been the three-time repetition.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
maybe you should have made the draw. No, still anyone's game because of the time, but well done by Phenom Monkey. I'm very
Yeah.
impressed.
No, now I mean like up to 9 seconds, like playing really, really fast. So there's clearly a beast inside of him, that can just play super quick. All right, could have taken that. That's all right.
Right, there were two rooks hitting it, and well, I mean, look at this simplification by. Wow, what a game by Phenom Monkey! I'm so impressed.
Wow. Okay, some misses, but yeah, playing really, really quick.
Wait, how did Black keep the bishop there?
I think he just didn't realize like he could take it.
I guess I'm surprised because Phenom Monkey has played so well that I don't expect the player to miss anything at this point. So when a bishop wasn't captured, it caught me by surprise.
Yeah.
Nice tactic by Fort, but still an extra 2 pawns for Phenom Monkey.
Yeah, at the same time it kind of simplifies White's task a little bit.
For sure.
But now, see, now White has the burden of the good position, so I'm a little nervous.
Although the way Phenom Monkey has played has been excellent. Although this is giving Black some chances with the active king. That's what Fort definitely wanted.
Yeah, yeah, definitely not an easy win here with a few seconds and okay, a little bit of panic here.
That's right. Oh gosh, this could be a very okay. So that's very good by Black to not play Rook to G3
Mm-hmm.
because in the ensuing king and pawn game, the White king was much closer to the action, so that would have been a pretty sizable mistake.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a very typical mistake is going for kind of king and pawn endgames, just too casually, right? Not even checking to see like who might be better there.
One thing, oh, I was about to say one problem I'm having when watching Fort play this game is I can feel that Fort is just playing for a win. And in chess, you can't play for results. You have to play the board. So when you get results oriented, you actually make more mistakes. And look at this.
Wow,
Monkey wins
pulls it
the
off.
game here. Hmm.
Yeah, that's the one thing I would say about Fort's play. Like they played really well, but like they don't really need the extra minute right now. Where like earlier they could have used that time to find just like some good moves and what could have like won the game, I think, a lot earlier.
That's right. And really just fantastic defense by Phenom Monkey. But considering the extra time and the position was very complicated, it felt like Fort had chances. Ooh,
Oh wow,
almost
okay, that
stalemate.
was close. That was close.
Right, you played b6, thinking, "Oh, I give away the a6 square by playing b6," and then it's stalemate. But of course not. Phenom Monkey, and in the chat says, "Hell of a game," and it really was. That was a
Yeah.
clinic of bullet success from Phenom Monkey.
Yeah, very well played in the time scramble. I mean, really, really clutch.
And I thought that Ford did really well to play f5 to get all aggressive because White's opening was a little suspicious. But the way that this game was defended here by Phenom Monkey just absolutely ridiculous. And I think for Fort, from a chess specific point of view, on move 17 for black, instead of bishop takes e4, which allowed the queen trade and white to feel much safer, the move knight to d5, for example, bringing another piece into the attack, that's probably what I would have done, just to continue getting aggressive. The white king will never find shelter in this position.
Yeah, I think that was maybe yeah, the biggest kind of strategic point is just for black, like you just don't want to trade queens, just want to leave pieces on the board and yeah, let white struggle with figuring out where to put the king.
It's too much is being threatened, and White's position is very loose. So that was, I would say, the biggest mistake. And then after that, I mean, just really amazing, amazing defense by Phenom Monkey. I'm sure there were some things missed here and there, but for the most part, I thought it was an excellent display of defensive resourcefulness just to not lose that game, which honestly, I felt like I would have lost that game
Yeah,
given the time that was remaining, but really well done.
for
And
sure.
I think for Fort, a big lesson was rook to d4 move 37. You could have made a draw, repeated the move. I'm not saying you have to make a draw, but you had so much time remaining that it would have been good to spend 40 seconds of your minute and 20 to think about what to do here rather than rushing a move just to flag your opponent. And with increment on the clock, you're often going to make blunders because you're trying to flag your opponent rather than actually succeeding in doing so.
Yeah. Um, I think the best thing to do when the opponent is way down on time is actually not to play quickly, but just try to make like good moves. And the only way I would adjust my play is I would try not to simplify too quickly when the opponent's like way down on time. But yeah, just spending a little bit of time and finding a good move or two is often much more unpleasant than like playing quickly because then they kind of get into the pace of being able to just play on the increment.
For sure.
Phenom saying, I have no clue what just happened. I like to think Phenom just blacks out once they go under 10 seconds and they just turn into a blitz monster.
Yeah, that was a whirlwind, really. Just such quick play out of necessity, but really impressively done. So, all right, Frost Mirage and Banausos,
But now
you
Sos is
two
ready.
are up.
Hmm.
Let's get that going, and good luck to our players. If the previous games are any indication, we're in for a really, really fun match and a tight one. It's 2-2.
Yeah,
So off we go.
gonna be fun. All
Yeah,
right.
Frost Mirage has me as the little flare on
Nice.
chess.com.
Nice. All your subs should have that flare. Guys, go change your flare to Robert. Robert's face.
I preferred if nobody had that, but yeah, showing some support, not the worst thing. Hey, we have an Alapin. I'm
Nice.
happy.
Nice. Was this part of your repertoire?
Growing up, for sure,
Hmm.
and I've always liked the Alapin because it has a pretty clear plan for White, where c3 you often are trying to play d4, establish, control the center, and I think that especially for newer players and for players in this rating category, like Frost Mirage is, it's a very good choice.
Cool.
You also get to avoid the sharpest theory, which is nice.
Yeah. Wow, kind of surprising F3 move there.
Yeah,
But I can.
especially after what we were just speaking about in the last game.
We're like, yeah, it's usually not good.
Yeah, yeah. E5 on move 3 is more to the point. You just attack the knight, and it's a very normal opening line. So Benausis did nothing wrong. The knight would go to D5. But yeah, F3 is not the way you want to defend that pawn, loosening up your control of the dark squares.
Yeah. Robert, I just remembered. I remember a while ago when you played one of the US championships, you had a game against Komsky. And correct me if I'm wrong, it was your first game against him. And you played like the Dragadorf or some. Is that right?
Yeah, I had actually played him prior in like the New York Masters tournaments and stuff. Like, and I think I played him in Foxwood before that as well. But it was the first time in my life that I played the Dragadorf, and it was against Komsky. Yeah,
Yeah, I was always just so impressed by that. Like you just chose an opening you've never played before, pretty like risky reputation, but just to get a game, I guess like on equal terms. And then you held the game if I'm
I
not
did.
wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually at one point thinking like, oh, I could try to press and play for more, but it ended up in a draw. And well, if I'm being honest, that's my style. Like, I don't love opening theory. Of course, it's a necessity at the absolute highest levels of chess, and as you know from experience, studying and preparing deep lines is essential to success. But for me, I just try to dodge preparation by playing something new in like every game. So when I played Vichy, I played the French, and everybody who's ever heard me talk about the French knows my feelings about that opening.
Yeah.
But and sometimes it makes me like struggle right out the gates because if you don't actually have deep preparation, you may be walking into something that's unfamiliar to you and familiar to your opponent, which is not good. And that's happened to me on plenty of occasions. So, along with the successes, there have been many a failure trying that kind of opening strategy.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've always appreciated that about your approach. Shout out to Danny Wrench, by the way. Unfortunately, rated the wrong wrong dojo. It happens. It's happened to a lot of people. So don't worry about it, Danny. Much appreciated.
Wait, who did Danny just?
Well, there's a twitch.tv/chess dojo, which has I think been defunct for a little while, and
Gotcha.
we're chess dojo live. But it's all good. It's all good. It's the thought that counts.
Well, that is a little sad, but yes, the thought is the most important. Hope you had a good lesson, Danny. I saw you were doing that earlier, and wow, look at Benausis.
D5,
Now,
great move. Yeah,
yeah.
I love
So
it.
I really didn't like White's opening, but I've liked the way both players have been going at it since that F3 move was played.
Yeah, like I think White has kind of done the best they could. Yeah, given that it could have been a lot more weakening.
And Queen to D8, the Queen was under attack. So opposite colored bishops, that's tricky for many people from all rating levels to deal with because, how do you determine what to do? Black has the light square bishop, so you probably want to take control of the light squares because white can't fend it off. And, well, on the other hand, whites can use the dark squares to his advantage. But that move, e takes d5 played, and now Benautis in a think. We'll see how black responds.
Mm.
Taking some time here.
Yeah, I get the move because like e4 was hanging, but if I was in White's shoes, I would just be like so happy to castle that I probably would have just castled and that's it. I'd rather just give the pawn and get the king out of the center.
I definitely feel that approach, and we'll see how white responds if the pawn was recaptured. And that was a good moment to think. Even if black doesn't have much time remaining, when there are three different ways you can recapture, and of course, Kosi and I wanted to see rook e8 check
Yeah.
instead, throwing the intermediate move. That way the king would be stuck in the center and not be able to castle. But thinking about how to recapture is important. And rook e8 to the open file, too late.
Yeah, that would have been a great in between move, rook e8 check. All right, rook e1. And now, okay, but Naosa is also one of those players. They've played a few sub battles, so I'm used to them getting low on time and then kind of speeding up. At the end of all their matches, they always come into the chat and they're like, "I'm shaking," so they get pretty nervous.
I can understand playing in front of many viewers and as a battle, you don't want to let your team down. Even though I never feel that anyone's letting the team down even if they lose. Just that's chess. Someone has to lose if there's a winner. So
Yeah.
Queen B6, I like that decision. Making use of the good old fashioned pin.
Yeah, it is. It is more stressful playing for the team. Like I'm sure you've played a lot of like U.S. amateur team tournaments, and if you've played like a few Olympiads, right?
Yeah, I played an Olympiad once and then 2 World Team Championships.
Yeah. Do you find it very stressful playing for the team, or do you like take energy from it?
Both. So one year in the World Team Championship 2011, we were playing against Ukraine, and I was the only one with a decent position. All 3 other boards had horrible positions, so I thought we were just getting crushed. So I made the choice to sort of play more actively and riskily, and I ended up losing the game because I allowed an idea that I felt like I probably shouldn't, but I also thought that what's the difference between losing 4-0 or 3-1
Right.
or 3.5 to half. But then I was the only one who lost in the end, and of course my teammates did not blame me. But you get some of this feeling guilty, like oh, how could I be the only person to lose? But in reality, the other players once I lose the game, the other players who had good positions don't have to play as hard for a win because they see we'll win the match
Yeah.
this way. So
Yeah. It changes everything. Exactly.
it still feels terrible.
Yeah. I had I had the opposite experience. I was playing on board one in the U.S. Amateur Team West. It was like an important round, and I was the first one who was like seriously worse out of the opening on my game, and everyone else was doing fine. But because I was so much worse, they start like playing really aggressively, and they all end up losing because they all just like over push. And then I actually end up saving the game. So I'm like the only one who made a draw, but it was clearly all my fault.
Yeah, it's those situations are so difficult because you have to operate as a team, and sometimes that requires players to essentially lose games they otherwise wouldn't for the sake of the team. Wow! By the way,
Yeah,
1.8 seconds when Benalsos made that move, and now Frost Mirage. Oh, this is just a scramble.
giving me a heart attack.
This is anybody's game at this point.
Oh
Black, of course,
man.
up a pawn. The pawn is blockaded, but both kings susceptible to checks, and
Yeah. Oh boy. Just try to make some moves, guys. Just
yeah. Oh my gosh.
just put the queen on a defended square each time, and oh,
Oh,
don't
barely got the
flag.
move off. No. Okay, zero point 0.9 seconds on the move. Oh,
No.
oh
Unfortunate.
my goodness.
It was the extra pawn. It doomed black.
It's
Yeah.
true. Too many choices.
Trying to win. Yeah. Unfortunate. Oh well. Great
Wow.
game though. Very close until the end.
Wow. And at the end here, black should be pushing, but the king's so exposed that it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, to win. There's too many checks available for white.
Yeah. All right. Well done to Frost.
Oh, but before we let Frost get too happy about the game, F3. We don't like to see that. We're just going to have to be honest with you about that. F3 there weakens your king. The move E5 is the main line after knight F6. F3 is a problem that uh, hurts you in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah. Next F3 guys is getting banned. I'm sorry.
It's true. The players, they've learned by now, or they should have learned by now because we've told them a bunch of times. So, whew, wow, that was as close as you can get. This match is now 3-2. I almost feel bad taking the lead back, but not too bad, honestly. All right.
No. GG.
Yellow Moose and Kaniki, you are up.
All
Oh,
right.
Kaniki is not online.
Oh, Kaniki, you got to get into live chess on the desktop. Or if you're on your phone, you can, I found out, use chess.com in your browser. The app, I think, doesn't work for starting games. But
Also,
yeah,
playing on your phone probably not recommended in the sub battle.
definitely not. Um, so yeah, Kaniki, let me know if you're If you're in our chat, they were here earlier. They checked in, but might have stepped away for a moment. Um,
Hmm.
maybe we should go to the next game and then
Sure.
come back.
Let's do that. So, Gurk Kurat and Bob Joe Jim.
All right, Bob,
Your
Joe, and
man.
Jim. Yeah, chess numbers. Hopefully you are ready to play.
Also, it's funny. People in my channel are saying forfeit. No, we're not forfeiting players. We are going to wait until Kaneki is back. Otherwise, you can also just sub if after this game if Kaniki's not back, you can just sub. I'm sure you have other people who
Yeah, let me know, guys. Is there anyone else 13 to 1400 chess comblets you want to play?
I see a
Um,
bunch of people there
I'll
for you. So if
happily put
Kaneki
you
doesn't
in.
show up,
Oh yeah, Francis, if you want to play, yeah, we can put you in if you're still around. Oh yeah, Francis is in. All right,
okay,
I will sub them out.
and then we'll just go. I'll start that game with
All right, cool. Yeah,
yeah.
Francis, go ahead and get into live chess and get ready.
Cool. So just to be clear, Yellow Moose, you are going to play now, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yellow Moose says, I did prep for Kaneki 1.
Good, good.
um, that's amazing. Well, now you have a new opponent. It's Francis. Francis didn't know that they were playing you either, so you're all on your own. You're going to have to just play what you're used to. Good luck, both players, and we are off. Wait, why does Yellow Moose have a profile photo of Ben Kleinvold?
Amazing troll.
You know what that means? That Yellow Moose will not be playing F6 or F3 in this game.
I hope not. I hope we'll see. Ultimate betrayal. Uh,
That's true. Using Ben's face and going against his word.
Stopping all those rolls. Kaniki, we sorry you just missed it. We were waiting on you a bit. I thought you were gone, so unfortunately we had to replace you. But sorry about that. Hopefully you can play next time. Okay, Exchange Slav, solid. Yeah, Francis is
Wow.
a solid player.
And it started with Knight of 6 on move 2. So White could have taken over the center with C takes D5, but instead we have an exchange Slav. So the center is now a big fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Both players developing quite naturally this far.
Yeah, now I always remember I have to adjust. These guys are like 13, 1400. They're not going to be like, blundering every other move.
Yeah, so maybe we have to be harsher, on them and be like, "How could you?" No, but it is true that they, at this level, we're probably see more opening preparation, at the very least, more strong fundamentals of the opening. So even if it's not specifically preparation a deep line, they will be making moves that I think are you also see at highest levels.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, like principal chess, developing, castling, controlling the center. Yeah, so far I would say everyone has done okay. Okay, this last move may be actually very tricky. The thing that really gets me is when players of like higher ratings mess up really fundamental like king and pawn end games, like one pawn each. Because then it's like, oh man, you should really know this.
Right.
And nice kind of trap avoided. I don't know if Francis realized the pawn is hanging on e4, but if there was two takes, then bishop f5 would have been winning white's queen.
Oh my gosh, that's such an epic swindle. It's
Yeah,
like it's looks like a free pawn, but as Coach just said, the queen is trapped, nowhere to go. Ooh, that would have been cool. Not rooting against Francis, well, kind of rooting against Francis, but just in general, the queen don't get trapped in the center like that very often.
yeah. It's a nice trick. Yeah. Okay, now, okay, yeah, black's spending a little bit too much time here. I would say knight c3. That's a move. You kind of just want to decide on it quickly and just make it if that's what you want to do. But still very solid.
95. Well, both players doing the right thing here. hopping forward with their pieces. White a bit ahead in terms of development because France is already castled, but Black, I guess, can join that and there does so. But by the way, Francis is doing really well on the clock.
Yeah, playing quick. Oh, Yellow Moose might have to break his one rule here.
Wait, that's so funny. Someone clip this and send to Ben Feingold, please.
Oh, he does it. Oh, no.
Include the profile photo because Ben says never play f6. If Yellow Moose had not played f6, there would have been a problem down on g7 with checkmate. So f6 it is. Eat your heart out, Ben Feingold. It's a good move.
Disgraceful. Disgracing the profile picture.
Or improving it.
Okay, here we see here we see why Ben says. Oh no.
Oh
Oh,
no.
total
I spoke too
collapse.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, everybody. Never play f6.
yeah.
Don't do it. It's terrible. Oh.
Man, it was very unfortunate because I mean f6 was actually a totally fine move. Like it's better than g6 there, but then queen a5 was blundering the e6 pawn.
Right.
But then after blundering the e6 pawn, I think Black got a little frustrated, played king h8 too quickly. Rook f7 is still very much a game. Jesse likes to say on this channel, like mistakes come in pairs. Like when you make a mistake, you often get flustered and then it causes you to make more mistakes that are possibly even worse.
That's very true. And for Yellow Moose, it just happened. Forgot the pawn e6 was hanging, and then in frustration made a quick second move. So
Yeah, chess can be so paradoxical like that. It's like, yeah, when you make a mistake, it's easy to get kind of flustered, but like the best thing to do is actually like take a beat, take a breath, slow down, and just like reassess, figure out what to do. Because you can 100%, still save a game after blundering a pawn, two pawns. But yeah, once we give a piece, then it's tough.
indeed, indeed, and still an extra piece. I think White's handling this well. Put the pawn h3, which I thought was prudent, just to make sure you don't get back rank checkmated ever.
Yeah, very practical.
All right. So what's the material? It's a piece and just one pawn. It looks like more because the center pawn's here.
Yeah, just one. But okay, queen b3. Yeah, I was gonna say Francis needs to figure out how to actually make progress and win this game, but that's a good start.
Mm-hmm. Trading the queen's good idea, and good idea by Yellow Moose to avoid the queen trade.
Yeah,
And you're down so much material.
yeah. By the way, have you followed the Sinkfield Cup at all?
Oh yeah, I commentated the first 2 days
Mm-hmm.
with chess.com, and then I still. So in general, every single day I will go and look at whatever tournament's going on, and I honestly don't spend as much time as I should doing it, but I'll just scroll through the games pretty quickly. But I have been reading Yermo's reports as well, so.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, some of the games have been very interesting. Jeffrey Zhang yesterday actually beat Fabi.
Right.
Really kind of somewhat surprising game because Fabi was like better out of the opening and then pretty much just made like one bad move, like allowing Jeffrey to kind of like activate everything.
Yeah, and I guess we have to hold players like Fabiano to higher standards, but that knight d8 move that you're talking about was kind of inexplicable to me. I didn't hear any post-match interview or to get his thoughts on why he played that move, but it seemed like he just handed White control of the game.
Yeah, we were thinking he basically just blundered like night before. He just didn't, because it's like, yeah, hard to imagine what he would have evaluated there or misevaluated there. We were thinking he just missed that White has this move.
And that
I think that's what
that
Jeffrey said as well. If I
got
remember.
it. Happens to even the best or second best player in the world, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold it over his head, but still that was surprising to see, especially because he was having such a great tournament. And now it's one of those situations where he's 3 out of 5, still +1, but you're like, well, is it that good of a tournament now? And that can get in a player's head. But by the way, Francis, after winning the piece, would have cleaned it up very nicely and
Yeah, well done.
evens the match score.
I like bishop h4 there at the end. I assume the intention was to play bishop takes f6, which very nice tactic.
For sure.
Yeah,
Just
nice,
going for the
nice
checkmate.
job. Or
And
perhaps the even prettier queen takes g7, followed by a rook check and bishop f6.
so Coach Jeff flexing his tactical might right now, showing that this line with the queen sacrifice leads to a forced checkmate, which makes it better, honestly. It's forced. So if that would be cool.
That'd be fun. Yeah, well done, Francis. GG.
And I think you summed it up well earlier, Coach. That mistakes come in pairs, and f6 was a good first move, and then the queen moved to a5. That was not a good move. And once queen takes e6 happened here, rook f7. You did make a mistake, Yellow Moose, but you need to sort of control your emotions as best as possible, and then think how bad is it, and then do damage control and play rook f7 because that would have only cost you a pawn rather than a piece in a pawn.
Right, exactly.
All right, well, even match it is, 3-3. The players next up are Gurkirat and Bob Joe Jim, so we are going to get that game going right now. Okay.
Awesome. So yeah, Bob Joe Jim, he's actually, you may have seen him on Twitter. He's Chess Numbers on Twitter, and he posts a lot of stats. Like he was tracking Mishra when he was trying to break the record, and then he was like posting World Cup stats, like everyone's chances to make it to the finals. So he's worth a follow on Chess Twitter if you're there.
Yes, and actually during some of the tournaments, we've quoted him in the show, and he came into my chat earlier and was thanking us for that. And of course, when we see good information, we definitely use it. And ooh, look at this move!
Sweet.
I think some people may think that's a blunder of a night, but of course, do I go call him Bob Joe Jim or do I call him Chess Numbers? Which do we go by here?
I don't know. I think I usually just say Bob, but sometimes Chess Numbers. I like Chess Numbers a lot. I think it's a good.
Yeah, I like it too. So Chess Numbers was anticipating knight takes e4 and then d5, a common fork in the center of the board. So just so for our people watching who may not have seen why this knight takes e4 move could be played.
Yeah. So okay, now this last move d5, I think is not right. I think Black probably could have just gotten away there with the pawn.
Yes.
But yeah. Now we're back to
Probably
even.
yeah, probably was scared that there could be an attack against the black king as white is castled and ahead in development, but that was definitely a better move to take on c3 than playing d5 because material is now level and white is still ahead in development.
Yeah. Now I like White's position, especially after this bishop takes c6 and trades queens, and yeah, looking nice for White.
Very. And there it is. Okay, so
Yeah.
Gurki does take on e5. That pawn was hanging, and it's still hanging because rook d1 check did not throw it away, but the bishop is pinned on d6.
Yes, things are already actually very, very tough here. The one hope for Black is somehow you get the two bishops active, but it's gonna be two pawns, so that's a lot.
It is. And bishop e6, that's the correct pawn to give up, the c6 pawn. Even though it's two extra pawns, Kostya says a lot. This way, the bishops can try to flex across the board, and you're not down a pawn on both sides.
Yeah, at least some hopes here for White. Yeah, we were just talking about Fabi. He played some great games, like against Shanklin and against Darius. His wins were very. And did you see that win that Dominguez had against MVL?
I did, and that. So, did you listen at all to my commentary during the candidates when I kept saying that I think it's time for MVL to stop playing the same openings over and over again?
I did not, but I can believe it. Yeah.
Yes, that Dominguez, great preparation, a great tactical victory in the end, but it goes to show that when you play the same opening, always that people can prepare very deeply against it.
Yeah. Yeah, really well played. Gristrick's been calling it like the game of the year. He was very impressed.
Well, I'd have to think about that. That's maybe reacting in the moment, because I felt there were so many other great games, but it was a fantastic one. And Dominguez actually is one of my favorite players. I think he's overlooked often. He did take that hiatus from playing when he was switching federations, and I don't know the specifics, so I don't want to speak on them, but I know that must have been a very taxing time. But either way, he's, I think, overlooked often and is such an amazing player that if you want to learn how to have a neutral looking position and then find critical ideas and ways to slowly maneuver and improve, he's a great player to watch and to check out his games.
Yeah, like yeah, he's just not like the flashiest player, but I always feel like he's just so strong and so solid. He also had a win against Darrow in the first round from a position where it's just like looked like completely equal, and he just like slowly outplays him. Like you rarely see like a 2650 player just getting kind of beaten from an equal position as white. But yeah, Dominguez just made it look like very kind of straightforward.
Well, by the way, chess numbers with a great tactical find with bishop to g6. The rook needed to defend the knight e3, so now an exchange was just lost by white, and it's two pawns and a knight for rook, so it's about even by material, which is a shame for Gurkey because he was up material, but at least now it's very complex.
Yeah, now that okay, two pawns definitely matter. By the way, would you have taken on d3 with the pawn there, or do you think rook takes was good?
I would certainly have taken with the pawn on d3, and then after rook d8, I would not have taken on d8 because I'm waiting to see black capture and improve my pawn. So I think that Gurkey, for whatever reason, just didn't think about the pawn capture or decided against it. But now, even though White's position is by no means bad,
Ooh,
okay, um, it wasn't bad until 95 just
yeah,
happened. Oh no, I just cursed
unfortunate.
him. Now
Yeah,
he's no.
Bob with the tactics. Yeah, definitely messed up the opening there, but then tactically he's been doing really well.
Yeah. Well, before knight to e5,
It was still okay there. Yeah,
it was okay. White had so many pawns that black couldn't really infiltrate, and just knight back to e3, keeping everything tied neatly, would have kept the balance. But oh boy,
yeah, it
now
happens.
now chess numbers are going to eat every single pawn and win.
Yeah, he's gonna enjoy it.
I don't even know what to say. I'm just sort of in disbelief at the moment I opened my mouth. Things went south.
Well, again, it felt like so Gurkey was playing really well. Then hangs the exchange, unfortunate, but things were still like really not that bad. Like I mean, I feel like with the knight actually being so solid, like I might even take white, in that position anyway with the two pawns.
Right.
But felt like just got a little frustrated and then just started playing a little bit too quickly.
Yeah, that's actually a good call. That you make that initial mistake, you get upset that you made a mistake in the first place, and then you can't recover. And the game was still perfectly fine for White. Unfortunately, Gurkey, I guess, didn't share the same thoughts.
Yeah. Okay, Rick before very very solid here. And all right, good technique at the end.
Chess numbers steals one there, and great start to the game for Gurkey. Unfortunately, for him, just missing Bishop G6. That's what cost him really. Is that at this moment, Rook H to E8 was played by Black on move 18, putting pressure on this knight. King F2 would have been a very good move. Just making sure that knight is protected a second time, so that when the rook gets attacked, it is free to go and the knight is not lost. So Bishop G6 was a very good find by chess numbers, and then after that was still fine for White. Yet when you misplay it once, oftentimes mistakes come in pairs, as you said and Jesse says, and that's what happened.
Yeah. But GG guys, well done. Let's see. Next up, we got Chess Falcon. Hopefully, you're ready.
Okay, and Lutz, you here? Let's see. Yes, you are. I see you in the chat. So it's time to play some chess. Bam. Okay.
All right, here we go. Caro.
Ooh. and we're getting near that 1600 range. So this will be players who have a good opening foundation, most likely. And oh my gosh, we're getting into some sacrificial territory. A gambit.
F3. Wow, I haven't seen this before. That's a new one for me.
I have. I don't. I'm not gonna pretend like I know the ins and outs of it, but I've definitely seen it, and it's just super aggressive
Yeah,
from the chess falcon at e6.
makes a
Very.
lot of sense optically. Yeah, just open F file.
Oh, for sure. It's got uh, what's that opening called?
Like
Uh,
fantasy vibes.
yeah, it's got fantasy vibes, but also like d4, d5, e4.
Oh, yeah,
It's like
Blackmore
essentially
Deemer. Yeah,
that's what the yeah the Blackmore Demar, and the difference between that and this is that Black threw in the c6 move, which you probably don't play in the Blackmore Demar. So,
right.
but so far solid by both. Well, I wouldn't say White's playing solid, White's playing aggressively, but Black is responding with solid play.
Yeah, yeah. I would say Black. I feel like hasn't done anything wrong, and yeah, honestly, I don't fully buy White's compensation here, especially with the bishop kind of outside the pawn chain for Black.
Right.
But well, I think it's important to play openings that you believe in, like especially in Blitz. So if Chess Falcon likes this kind of stuff for White, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. It's really how chess openings should be taught. Is that there's not one opening that everyone has to play. It's very individualized, I should say. So that if when I'm working with somebody, I'm not going to say you have to play the Caro-Kann or you have to play the Sicilian because it's really dependent on the player's preferences. And by the way, Lutz is I think handling this game excellently this far.
Yeah, nice tactic there. Now it's two pawns. So now it's pretty critical for White. Got to get something next couple moves here to justify, but will be tough.
Yeah. And good on Lutz to spend some time right now to try and figure it out and develops that knight, so the knights are connected with one another. But White still has plenty of aggressive chances in this position. When you don't have pawns, you have open files, and right now all of White's major pieces are staring down the length of those files.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like White had like an isolated queen pawn, and now that the pawn is lost, like you're kind of free. You don't have to worry about defending it. And okay, big sack.
Mm-hmm.
Though, yeah, I feel like it feels like everything in Black's position is nicely defended, so it can't
Well,
really see this working.
there was a trick there. If Black had played Rook F7 and Rook takes D7, would have been a problem because the Knight on F6 pinned.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, that's a good trick.
Because we've just been talking about Rook F7 in the other game with Yellow Moose, and yeah, that it would have been bad in this game.
But yeah, Black actually just finds very solid King H8, and now White gets back some material, but I think the exchange is pretty strong here for Black.
Yeah, and it's a full exchange, not even a pawn for White's troubles.
Right.
And I like that Lutz spends time when the first time after winning a second pawn and now after going up in exchange, instead of rushing the decision making, says, let me determine do I want to trade on F3? It says yes, and now we'll try to keep up the pressure here
Yeah.
and seize the initiative.
Yeah, definitely a good exchange there just to totally weaken White's structure. And yeah, you made a good point about the time management. Like really important if you feel like like one accurate move and you can win the game or make things a lot easier for yourself. Definitely worth spending that time. Nice trick there, 94, hanging the pawn for the back rank. But yeah, Black just
Yeah.
snuffs it out. And no, very, very solid game by Lutz. Really well played.
And at this level, right, 1600, once a player goes up in exchange, or in this case now a full rook, we fully expect conversion. So the rest is sort of a matter of technique. And Queen F4 check, a great way to do it. Just trade off the queens. You have a full rook and a pawn, and this is very straightforward for Lutz.
Yeah. Yeah, nicely done. Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't mind a resignation. I'd be like, okay, your opponent is clearly a very good player.
Yeah.
They should be able to finish this off. But all right, we'll see it. We'll see it until the end. You never know.
Yeah. stalemates happen. I mean, grandmasters sometimes accidentally stalemate their opponents, so there is a resignation,
Yeah.
and it was just the pawn was going to become a queen and a rook and a queen plus the other material too much. So that was a well played game by Lutz. Really, I think an excellent way, a demonstration of how when someone tries to sacrifice a pawn and go for aggressive tactical play, that if you prevent the threats and make natural development moves, not just there's a threat, I stop it, but you need some ideas of your own. I thought that Lutz did a great job of combining defense and some offense and turned into a full point.
Yeah. Yeah. Really well done. Um,
Alrighty, well, we have Man Jafar and call me call Mel call
I
me LVB.
I always get their name wrong. It's Call Me LVB. I always say Call Mel.
Yeah. Yeah, if you say it too many times, if you have like a smart device somewhere near you, it'll probably just call Mel in the contact book.
Yeah. Now this is a first. Call Mel is or Call Me is finishing up a blitz game. They've got
Okay.
a minute on and a half on their clock.
We'll wait.
We can wait or we can go to the next one. Up to you. Either way.
I'm fine waiting. Also, I need to fill in a rating spot, so I'm going to drag down my player Junk Master. Let me.
Sounds
How do
good.
I? Edit.
Oh,
Let me.
if you click
I
on
got it.
where
I
it
got it.
says start it, yeah, you can edit it.
So I'm going to bring down Junk Master, and then I told, and I have two players. I can go into the next carrier. Let me just see if they're still in my channel because I don't want to create more problems. I had told our Tehador, who's in that rating range, that he can play, and that would someone on my team just left before.
Hmm.
Well, did call? I keep trying to say call Mel, then you said call me. Is call me still playing?
Yeah, they're finishing up. Should be like just under a minute now.
Got it.
Yeah, I've messed it up so many times. It just looks like Call Mel, Call Mel.
Yeah. You want me to call Mel VB? I don't even know what that means.
All right, they just finished, so they should be ready.
And in my chat, someone goes, "Call me just destroyed someone." Hey, don't frame it like that. Don't psych our player out. Come on. All right, time to go. Call me seems warmed up, and we'll get the black pieces against Man Jafar. Oh, also, Call me's gained a bunch of rating points since we put the pairings in place, so it's a good streak for Call me.
Yeah, yeah. They asked me if they could warm up. I said go for it. Looks like they broke 1700. So nice job.
Hey, you said to warm up, not to catch fire.
Yeah.
We have what looks like a Panov against the Karakan, but we got here through C4 on the first move, so
Wow.
symmetrical English.
Very interesting.
And the position with the Fianchetto from black, white trying to use the two pawns here on the fourth rank, and now putting more pressure towards the center. So I think so far it's been a well played opening.
Yeah, really solid. Man Jafar with the Amon thumbnail. Love it.
We had a Ben Feingold and now an Amon Hamilton. So had to play the Jerome Gambit. What are you doing playing C4 on the
But now Queen takes C4 is interesting. I wonder if Bishop takes C4, he didn't like the looks of Knight A5.
Yeah.
That would be my explanation.
Also, the D4 pawn was loose, so Queen takes C4. I guess took care of both, but it's costs a lot of time. Bishop E6 developing, Queen goes to D3, Knight to B4, and I don't think Call Me. This is actually was a very instructive moment, and exactly it was not going for a one move. Let's hope that Manjafar blunders the Queen, but blockades are essential against isolated pawns. So that Knight on C6, while it was putting pressure on D4, the Knight on D5 is really nice, and I think is a really good job by Black thus far out of the gates.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a very like just a classic technique. You just put pieces on this square. Black kind of owns this square, and yeah, doing good. Playing quickly.
Mhm. And I think b3 a good decision. Although what's unfortunate for white is the bishop on g7 is an aggressive piece, putting pressure on the d4 pawn. The bishop on b2 is a sort of passive defensive piece covering d4. So it's a tale of two quite different bishops.
Yeah, yeah. So I would expect black to just yeah, be the one putting a little bit of pressure. I like queen b6, just developing, connecting the rooks.
I like that move. I think that's like the first aggressive move that Manjafar has played in this game, just because after the pawn capture on c4, he kind of was pushed back and forced to defend. But right now, that's an aggressive move, applying pressure on the knight on d5. Behind it, this potentially this pawn on f7. So I like the looks of this move.
Bishop c4, yeah, that seems right. And now e6. I think he wanted to play rook d8, but maybe he didn't like or wasn't sure about what happens on bishop takes d5. Maybe
Right.
some tactics. But okay, e6. Um, yeah, solid. Robert, are you playing anytime soon over the board?
So no, almost always the answer is no, but for a change, the answer might be yes, and it just depends on a few things. So when I know for certain, I'll let you know, and I'll let everybody else know too.
Very cool.
Yeah, I play very rarely, as you
Yeah.
know, but
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of funny because the way chess is now versus the way chess was 10 years ago when I stopped playing for the most part, it's just a totally different landscape. So it's getting better. Still really difficult to be a professional player because there's just really like no money in it, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of travel, and it's not an enviable living lifestyle. But I think it is getting better, and hopefully will continue to do so.
Yeah. I mean, especially now that like okay, chess got a lot more popular, and it's so interesting to me that chess blew up at a time when there was no over the board tournaments, and now that over the board tournaments are coming back, people are like, oh wow, you can play chess in person. I feel like that's why there's this like new like IRL kind of
Oh,
like
please don't use that expression. I mean, it's so funny because for us, that's just chess. But for, as you said, everyone who just started following chess during the pandemic and after the Queen's Gambit, especially, oh, IRL chess. No, that's just chess. That's what chess is and has always been.
yeah,
But, it does differentiate it between the esport that chess online tries to be, or is, I should say, versus over the board chess, which is much slower paced often.
yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, I was at the National Open in Vegas earlier, and it was crazy. I mean, I'm not like that famous in the chess world, but even I was getting like recognized by lots of people and
It's
people coming
amazing.
up to me, which is just yeah, never happened for actually even here in St. Louis. There's all these like 27, 2800s in town, and I'm like getting recognized on the street like outside the chess club.
Well, you
It's pretty
you
cool.
do a great job, and you help a lot of people get better at the game that they love and want to improve at. So I think you deserve to be recognized, and it is a good feeling when people say, "Hey," and thank you for all the work you do.
Yeah, it's fun. Okay, well spotted there. Bishop takes e5, giving up really important bishop, but I'm assuming yeah with queen f2 in mind. Nice.
Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. And also, rook takes d1 was very important because the rook and d8 was under attack twice, which is something that people can miss when they're so eager to capture free pieces. But this is just under control. And the knight on e4 here, coach, that's
Yeah,
essential
big
because
hero.
without that knight, it's a draw. So if
Right.
I go like a4 and knight c3 or something, then rook d8 check would force a draw because you have check on f6, check on h4 if the king goes out to h6, and otherwise just check f6 to d8 back and forth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So well calculated there. Okay,
Whoa.
little fancy, but I don't see an issue.
Oh my gosh. I think that White knew that he was lost, so he took on c4 as a way of just hoping that Black made some kind of mistake. But Queen a8 check instead, King g7, pawn takes c4. There's still Knight f2 check with the fork. So completely winning for Black. Nice
Yeah,
game by Call me LBB.
Yeah, well played. Very well played. Great technique there against the IQP. Nice tactics. Nice job.
Well, this has been a very back and forth match, and you once again take the lead, 5-4. So, Morning Duck, you're gonna have to do your best against Trav Kuskin.
Yeah,
Uh, hopefully, I pronounced that correctly.
I think that's about as good as I can do it. Trafficuskin, hopefully you're ready.
Oh man, the nerves. You know, it's funny because when I play chess, I'm like never nervous. I'm just there having a solid time. But if I'm watching the games, especially if people I coach, oh boy, it's all out the window. I'm like super nervous. Like at the
Yeah.
Olympiad, when I've coached the women's team in the last two Olympiads,
Hmm.
during the game, I want to be sleeping and just getting some rest, and that way I can stay up all night and help them prepare. Well, they'll sleep and I'll prepare, and then
Hmm.
we'll go over the stuff in the morning. But I'm just always watching and like super nervously watching because there's nothing I can do. Right when you're watching your subs battle, you're rooting for them and you care, but there's literally nothing that you can do when the games are underway.
Yeah, it's so tough. And you know that they're nervous and they're stressing out. You can feel it. But I feel like, yeah, it's worse than a classical game because it just drags out for so long. And then,
Hmm.
your player is doing well, you expect them to do well, then something happens. And then you start seeing all the ways they could like blunder something. And you're like, oh no.
Yeah. And then it's funny when you're like, oh, the position's really complicated, and then they win the game and come back to you, and your student's like, what do you mean it's complicated? It was an easy win. You're like, well, I'm glad you thought that because I was sitting here sweating about all these ways it could go wrong. So I just hit the start button for Trav Kuskin and Morning Duck. So off we go.
Nice, nice.
And
Yeah.
we get a Sicilian. Ooh, a Rosalimo.
Wow, look at this World Championship openings.
And that's what happens at you get to the 1700s, and all of a sudden it looks like it's Caruana against Carlsen.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, everything very, especially, yeah, especially like Queen C7, like that's kind of how Magnus likes to play these positions with, usually with E5. There it is. Yeah.
Mhm. So I have something to tell you, Coach, that Morning Duck is actually Magnus Carlsen. I recruited him for my team. He sabotaged his own rating just so he could play in this battle here.
I mean, so far there's nothing he's played that would convince me otherwise. It's like all of Magnus's moves.
Have you ever seen Morning Duck and Magnus Carlsen in the same room? I don't think you have.
I have not. I have not. I also have Magnus Carlsen TV in my chat. So he's chatting, he's trash talking.
He's
Wow, Knight
everywhere.
H2. Man, classic plan.
Both sides looking at their F pawns and F5 just expanding, and the bishops like open diagonals, and so it makes sense that black would attempt to trade pawns. And for white, there's an enemy king in the center. F4 is a good way to go. So this is a fascinating game right now.
Yeah, very principled chess for both sides. And now, yeah, it's very tricky. Feels like a critical moment for black.
Agreed.
Yeah. Also, one of those situations where you really have to think about like keeping the tension and whether you want to take or not for both sides. These center pawns can be very hard to make this. Like in a classical game, you could spend like 20 minutes here just looking at all your options.
For sure. And I know the move that Magnus Carlsen would play here, but I'm not going to say it until a move's been played, just to be extra cautious.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
this is a very interesting position where you're right, and it can't. So actually, I won't say it now either. Just to keep everything chill. But after the game, I look forward to suggesting a move that's a bit outside the box.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Although
Yeah,
I do like I do like castles. That was kind of my first instinct here for black.
yeah. Okay. Well, bishop takes e5. Nice tactical ideas by Morning Duck.
Right. Right.
So that's easy to overlook that knight on h2 is hanging because at first it looked like, wait, that's a free pawn on h6. Yes, that's a pawn that's hanging, but the knight was under attack on h2, so that's why the knight came to f3 here.
Yeah. Now black is thinking. I think rightly so. Feels very critical here.
Mm-hmm. And white's up a good amount of time, 30 seconds. That's quite a margin, especially with the complicated position we have on the board.
Yeah. Yeah, time advantage is nice. Okay, f4. Yeah, that looks like the right move to me.
Great move, yes. And very good, quick response by Trav. Sometimes we want our players to sit and think and really deliberate. The bishop was under attack, and once the bishop was captured, the queen was under attack. That's why the knight couldn't take the bishop on e5. So great decision by Trav and done quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Now takes dark squared bishop, and yeah, just strategically really interesting game. Okay, why is black thinking here?
Yeah,
That seems
I was really worried. I was like, is Morning Duck about to play a move that's not capturing back the piece that was taken? That was not a good moment to spend 9 seconds. We could have made pre-moved that.
right. Yeah, that could have been a solid pre-move. Whoa,
Oh, tricky, tricky.
man, what a move!
Definitely caught us off guard, but tactically sound. It
Yeah,
looks like.
I feel like objectively not the best, but it does force the opponent to spend some time. So it definitely worked out for white here.
Right. And that's why. I mean, now black establishes a pawn chain that you wanted to do anyway. And by playing g5, you open up a square for the knight. So this was kind of like a one move trick in a way that didn't pan out. Okay. I like the way black's playing this.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure I believe in. Yeah, and then that's it. Pieces hanging.
Yeah, well spotted by Morning Duck. And once you lose a piece at this level, generally speaking, not going to go well, although only 37 seconds left for black.
Yeah, yeah. I would say on that last move, I think Queen H5 was just totally killing, just playing for the
Totally.
mate.
Yes, indeed. And I wonder what Travis is thinking about because, well, there's no way to block the
Yeah,
check.
yeah. Now I just gotta. Okay, now is the time to think. Now is the time to like, all right, how can I possibly? Yeah, I like Queen G5. That's good.
Very good decision. And that's what happens, right? When somebody misses the immediate knockout, you let the game continue, and now white has real chances because black's king isn't exactly safe and sound.
Yeah,
Good retreat.
yeah. Queen D7. I think that was the only way to keep both the bishop and the G pawns. That's a good spot. Now, yeah. Now, okay, exactly the time to think for white. Try to figure out what to do because objectively should be pretty good for black, but maybe white can find a way to mix things up a bit. In E5, okay.
A good way to do that, freeing up the e4 square for that knight.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now Morning Duck down to 15 seconds.
yeah. That could be a really annoying idea. Okay, decides to just take. I feel like Morning Duck is like honestly really strong player, just like not. Huh? Why don't we take that?
Yeah,
Just needs to like maybe play with like a little bit more confidence, like a little bit faster.
right. And well, don't play down to 3 seconds. You got to move.
Yeah, gotta make a move.
Wow, what an interesting choice. It's a very tactical position, and white only has 20 seconds, so both sides are going to struggle from here on out.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, it was just the
Mm.
time at the end. Unfortunate.
Oh gosh. So the first thing I want to note, and Kosi and I were hinting at this, but before, where was this? After f5, f4, the Magnus Carlsen move would have been g5, which is
Right.
very difficult for anyone to really see and play because all these pawn tension already exists, and now you're adding more to the mix. But the point is that you want to push through the pawn from f5 to f4, no matter which pawn is captured. If it's the g pawn or the e pawn, black will go pawn to f4 and then try to launch an attack. That's like the major point of it. So
Yeah,
I think that would have been
I,
good for black.
I don't know if this one has a name, but it's yeah, somewhat rare idea you often see in these middle games, like this pawn break to get this wedge in.
Yeah. And then even without that though, black played a really great game at four, playing g5, winning a piece. And Morning Duck, if you're watching now, Queen h5, Kostya was showing earlier that just led to a quick checkmate, and you win the game on the spot. And of course, when that didn't happen, then Trav was able to bounce back because your king was open.
Yeah, honestly, really well played by both players. Like I think Black, I mean, doing really well, won the piece, and then yeah, Trav was just able to make it like just tricky enough in the time scramble that it was pretty. Yeah, after e5, honestly, it's pretty difficult for Black to kind of keep everything together already.
Right. Yeah, that was a really nice move by Trav because the knight's coming to e4 and into f6, and it's already difficult for black to maybe bishop f5, which gives up the g3 pawn, but at least stops that knight from getting into e4 because that knight's frustrating. Rook a to e8 to try to win this pawn e5, but what happened was just a mess, and white came out on top, and I think deservedly at this point.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, well done.
alrighty, we're getting into the 1800 to 1900 range. Also, do you see the pattern for your team?
Wait, let me open up Arena. We seem to be doing well after losing games.
Yeah, you win like back to back. So hopefully my team can stop that from happening. But it seems like your winners all are together. It builds confidence.
Right. That's very pretty.
All right. Well, Hasita, you're up. You're playing against Mommy, I think.
Hmm.
Weird to say
That's
that out
how
loud.
that's how I would say it, mommy.
Mommy. All right.
Here
Here
we
we
go.
go.
Yeah, good luck,
And,
guys.
and Hasita has played in a bunch of these sub battles for my team and has done quite well. So, hey, we have a Scandinavian. Is Ludwig playing? Okay, c6. Oftentimes people play the move a6, but c6 is still in the spirit of the Scandi.
Yeah,
John Bartholomew would be proud.
solid setup here for black. Yeah.
I feel like the Scandinavian is one of the most frustrating openings to play against because, especially for for title players like us, Kostya, we know that white is supposed to be better, but then you get these positions where it's like, am I that much better? Have I maximized the potential of my position? And I don't know. I feel like I get in my own head sometimes.
Yeah, it's also one of those like really polarizing openings. Like for some reason I always hear players that either love the Scandi or they absolutely hate it. It's like I always wonder why that is. But I think it's because of what you said, because it's like white is supposedly better and the engine always likes white by a nice margin, but once you actually play it, it's actually really tough to crack. Like black just has these like long-term positional ideas and always has good squares for their pieces, safe king. And yeah, like how are you, especially in blitz, it's like hard to like we've seen John Bartholomew, he'll just play these positions all day long with
Right.
really good success.
And with just absolute confidence in it. It's
Yeah.
tried and true for him.
Yeah. But that's one of the coolest things in chess is when you have like a pet opening, like you feel the positions really well, you really enjoy it, and even if objectively it's not the best thing, it's just like you enjoy the game when you have this opening on the board. So it's kind of makes it all worth it. For me, that
Yep.
opening is one knight c6. It's not great, but but I always enjoy playing it.
Oh man. So what's happening here? The knight on d. See, this is my problem with this game. It's like even when white gets the bishop pair, this pawn structure that black has makes the light square bishop look not very good because b7 to c6, f7 to e6. The bishop on f3 can't find like an amazing diagonal. Though I do like the transition that just happened with the f takes e3 because now a bunch of pawns can start going up the board, and that move, I think, even disregarding the specific situation right now, playing c5 to open up that bishop on f3 probably not the one that we would choose.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like very double edged. Okay, white could have taken on b7, which I didn't really see an issue with.
Right.
But now that hasn't happened, I like black's kind of play on the dark squares. So it's
Hmm.
a very risky decision, but yeah, it seems to be okay for black.
Dark square blockade. This is the nature of opposite colored bishops, where look at the e5 square. Black is just going to take that one over, and the bishop on f3 staring into its own pawn. So I would take black in this position.
Yeah, yeah, same. Yeah, one of those structures that's always just good to learn, like with this e5 square. Um, I'll never remember. I used to take lessons with, I'm sure you know, Coach Armin on Bartumian.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you know, I've been a D4 player for a long time, and he was one showing me this position where, you know, black had this blockade. It was a Benoni, but white basically had everything else in the position, like tripled up on the F file, and basically just had like huge advantage. And he could tell just from my look that I wasn't sure. And he
Hmm.
just looks at me and goes like, "Look, Kostya, blockade is not everything. Okay, white is winning." So
Yeah.
I had to learn that lesson.
Yes, and honestly, this does look like a Benoni, so it's a good reference to make. And
Yeah,
wow, well, this b5 move, it's an expanding move, but whenever you expand, you make it easier for your opponent to attack some of your stuff. So knight came to c3 to put pressure on b5, and this is anybody's game, but I definitely like black's position here.
yeah. Just needs to make like, you know, one move. I'm sure we've been thinking about to really like kind of clinch the strategy or the structure here for black.
Hmm.
That I feel like, yeah, like every master makes this move in blitz really quickly, but we'll see what he does here.
All
Rook
right,
e3.
good aggressive move.
Yeah, rook
Just
e3 is all right.
you have an open file, so you can at some point try to use it. And there it is. And it's very important, everybody, that the rook on e1 left that file because the e5 pawn push would be a fork, but there's, well, okay, now,
There's
you know, yeah, and that's why black filled the square. But yeah, that was important that black was able to distract the rook away from e1 so not to blunder material.
right. But yeah, I would
Honestly,
have
great game.
no really nice. I would have really liked to see knight d7, knight e5 earlier. I think that would have really like cinched it for black, like a nice position. But okay, still in control.
I was on my side of things, Coach. I was highlighting that move before. I was like drawing arrows and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I of course I knew you were thinking about it and we were talking about it, but I was like, please don't do it. And give Hasita a chance here. Give him some hope. Because now honestly, black has like all of the pieces on pretty ideal squares, but it's even material. And then you're like, wait, what do I do next? And white does have a protected pass pawn in the center of the board, so there could be some counter chances as this game continues.
Yeah. Yeah, still could go either way here. I think this is far from over,
And
especially as
great,
yeah.
great quick move there by Hasita to go knight d2. And Mommy over here played knight d7, but goes, yeah, I'm sure you wanted to see that many moves earlier.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. But okay. Queen a5 keeping the tension, just like, yeah, very easy move to make. Like, okay, if you avoid the trade, then you have to back up. So here black says, all right, we can trade, but then I'm gonna keep my queen very active. So yeah, very
Right.
solid stuff.
And black with dipping under a minute, but still with a lead on the clock right now. Now the lead is 10 seconds and counting down. But look at that. See, I know why Hasita went king g2 was to avoid allowing a capture with check, but you left the rooks on a moment too long because rook a2 was a very powerful choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a nice find. Yeah, another good one. Bishop c3. Very well played.
This is looking like a problem and then some.
Yeah.
And 20 seconds on the clock for white, losing the knight on d2. It is pinned. Yeah, king h2. I was thinking bishop e2 was probably the best chance just to at least win this b5 pawn
Mm-hmm.
for the piece that you're going to lose. Well, this gives white some outside chances as well.
Yeah. Yeah, still some hopes here. I know better than to assume black is going to convert. I've been burned before many times. But all right, rooting for the win.
And still on the clock, trying to figure out what to do here. I think one of the big problems is that white has this pass pawn, and it's always going to be scary.
Yeah, yeah. These are always scary in the time scrambles.
I really like bishop g5 though, just covering the d8 square a bunch of times, make sure bishop's on a loose square. And queen e2, I get it, but I think moving in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
And a great move by black, because white was trying to play e5 and e6.
Yeah, knight comes to e5, but now it's okay. Yeah, really got to just pick up the pace. I feel like mommy has been like playing very carefully, but yeah, now it's just straight up time scramble. So got to make moves.
Right. And knight c6. I was thinking queen d3 check, forcing the queens off would be the easiest. But this is still good. Oh, nice tactic.
Yeah.
Really nice tactic by
Mm-hmm.
Hasita there. This is now it's gonna be a draw.
Yeah. Now, okay, objectively, yeah, very much a draw. But I guess black is gonna play on a bit.
Well, now it's
But now, yeah,
no hope. You needed to somehow push f5 through, but now you can never do that with bishop on e4. Although actually the king's coming to e5. Uh-oh. That was not the best decision here.
okay,
Uh-oh.
yeah, some small chances. White was definitely fine there, but yeah, I think just walked too far
Oh,
with the
but the
king.
king is locked out. This is actually a draw because the black king is locked out.
Wow.
Like, that is as fortunate as one gets, where you actually just straight up lose one of your pawns, but here, after king g1, the bishop can come to c4.
Oh no!
No.
Oh, missed it. Oh, that would have been so nice.
I think it probably still should be a draw,
Yeah.
but yeah, locking the king out was going to make it easier. Although now the king's going to g6, and maybe black needs to be just a tad careful. Yeah, great move. Oh, f5.
Oh, F5 is there. That would have been
f5
nice.
check would have been very bad news for white.
Yeah. Okay, now I think it's easy. You just don't move your bishop off of e6 unless you absolutely
Oh,
have to.
I guess king takes g5 is possible, but making me so nervous over here.
Yeah, it seems like both players are just nervous. Man, oh, what a save. Very clutch. Okay, so
Oh,
I guess we replay that one, yeah?
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Wow. Whew. There's so much that happened in that game. It's hard to really know what to say. I think that Mommy did play very, very well, and probably play well enough to win the game. But unfortunately, in time trouble, that E5 shot saved the day for Hasitha to win this knight on C6.
Yeah.
Queen D3 check. Things could have been avoided, but still, with no time on your clock, hard to find everything. But we're gonna have a rematch. I'll get that going. We're gonna switch. We switch the colors, right?
That's right.
All right,
Yeah.
good. Okay. So let me just switch
But
the
yeah, very good
order.
defense by Hasita there. Just to like hold on, just keep the game not easy for the opponent. And yeah, I mean with 10 seconds on the clock, it's really not easy to win those. But very interesting game actually. There was some swings there.
Indeed. Well, I have their second game started, so I don't know if mommy knows that they're playing now because they haven't moved yet. So I can restart the game
Oh.
if they.
All right, I think they're good. They're fine.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I usually announce it that the draws will be replayed, but so not everyone is always aware. Oh, now Hasitha might not be ready.
No, I see this. We already played, and I said you're going right back at it. So
All right. All right, both players giving their opponents some time.
yes. So okay, we're out of the opening stage. A sort of ready from white and pretty good natural development, and black doing very much the same.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, we are replaying the draws so that we can get a decisive result on every board. Because the arena people, they've been like super cool and chill. They're like, you guys can do whatever as long as like both streamers agree. But their one rule is like every match needs to have a winner.
Right.
So
And
very
that's why
strict
we
on that.
have the odd number of boards, because if if you make draws, then you can still get a tie. But with the odd number of boards and draws being replayed, it ensures that somebody will be victorious. And usually, at this point, every single time, it has not been my team. But if Hasitha can win this game, I'm saying there's a chance.
Definitely. No, Aziza's clearly a very decent player. So this can go either way. We had one match where our player was winning the game, actually, yeah, doing really well, and then stalemates with two queens up and 40 seconds. 40 seconds, but just gets nervous and just like pre moves until the end and runs into a stalemate. So
Yeah.
that game is drawn. Then, second game, winning again, like completely winning king and pawn endgame, gets nervous, messes it up, allows a repetition, draw. And
No.
finally wins the third game. Would have been really tragic if they didn't.
We had one match where we were playing without increment, and in the first game, the player on my team was up like 50 seconds to 5 seconds, and then made a three-time repetition, up a pawn in an end game. And I'm like, no, no, like just make any move and flag your opponent. And then in the rematch, unfortunately, mouse slipped and lost the queen. So in a pretty good position, if I'm remembering correctly. So we have traumatic memories from the rematches. So hopefully Hasita can tell a different story after this one's done. But I like the way, honestly, White's playing this game, filling the e4 square with the knight. The pawn went to e5, gaining more space for White to control, and
Yeah.
it's a good battle right now.
Mommy's bishop very happy.
That sounds so funny. Oh gosh,
Yep.
yes.
Mommy loves their bishops.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, Hasita also down quite a deal of time, and Mami just playing very quickly with c3 here. I love that move. A pawn 3 squares away from a knight dominates the knight because the knight can't go to d or b4. So far so good from both players. I just like White's space.
Yeah. Yeah, nice position here. And now, okay, time to find a plan for White.
Not easy. There are certain decisions that I think would be very beneficial for White to make, but they're not the most straightforward necessarily. And also, I'm sure that White is looking across the board, looking at the center and seeing the e5 pawn is good, but own bishop defends it. And then I was about to say, looking at the queen side, the b2 pawn was a bit loose, so that's why b3 was played.
Yeah, b3 is right. A6 was a very interesting move by Black because it feels like it doesn't do anything, but a lot of times, like in Blitz, if you don't really have any active moves, it's better to just do nothing and just don't waste any time, pass it to your opponent, let them figure it out, and just kind of sit on the position. So kind of like, I feel like a very mature play for Black.
I'm with you. I think that one of the things you need to think about in a position like this is how to improve your pieces, because in Black's very solid, very compact, but is there a piece that's not doing as much as it could? And I would say that knight on e8. And right now, the knight is stuck there. It is defending the d6 square, which is important, but the knight could have gone to c7 and then into d5, for example.
Yeah. Okay, now, yeah, e5 was a problem, so it goes knight g5. Earlier, one plan I would have loved to see is just like h4, h5. I think that was very much called for in the position.
And there was also a moment for White to play bishop g5, because what you want for White is to get this queen to h7 with that knight on g5. So trading the dark squared bishops could have helped launch a pretty big attack.
Yeah. Okay, now, yeah, Hasita thinking about how to deal with this. Yeah, it's okay. Rook d7 makes sense to get out of the trade on g5, and then White gets the tempo there.
Right? And also trying to maybe double along the open file. The board's only open file.
Yeah, now queen e3. Man, these positions, oh man, so tough to play with 1 minute. All the pieces still on the board.
It's funny because I objectively can say that White has to be better here, but then I think about this practically with under a minute on the clock. Like, it feels easier to play for Black because you just control the open file, and whatever White's plan is not abundantly clear at this point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, yeah, Mami has burned so much time actually the last couple of moves. I would say that's been maybe the biggest mistake I've seen in their play is just way too much time spent on the last couple of moves.
Mm-hmm. And Rook D3 played relatively quickly, and well, activity finally obtained for Black.
Yeah.
Though your H4 move that you called for a while back, that did finally appear.
Like H4. Bishop takes G5, actually very interesting decision. Not to deal with the knight and the time scramble. You know, I kind of I kind of like it.
Although Mami's saying, I don't need the knight. I'm just going to keep going forward. And, well, there are going to be more pieces joining the party soon.
Yeah, this is gonna get
Never
so
play
sharp.
that move.
Oh no.
Never
Yeah,
play
that
that
was
move.
not a good moment for that. I understand why, but yeah, not a good moment.
No, not at all. Uh-oh.
Yeah, now White is feeling it, but only 20 seconds. So you really
Black
have
only
to.
has 9.
Yeah, gotta be accurate. All right. Yeah, I mean, that looks good.
Yeah. There's pretty concrete issues, but 9 seconds for White. So this is actually, whoa, this could be saved now because the queens, if they come off,
Mm-hmm.
Black has some outside chance to hold.
Yeah.
But only 2 pawns.
Yeah, we're just pure time scramble now. Yeah, I can kind of tell. I mean, most players much less comfortable with 10 seconds on their clock, but it feels like Mommy really plays well. But then once it gets down, it's like just gets nervous and it's a
Rook
tough
E2 would
time.
have ended the game there with a pin on the knight, trading everything.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. I do think that's the case where Hasitha seems a little more comfortable in the time scrambles.
Yeah. Now it's simplified, similar to that endgame we saw with Phenom Monkey earlier.
Right?
Yeah, hopefully the nerves don't
Great move.
don't fail us. Yeah, King G4.
Great move, King G4, pushing those pawns. Here they come. And connected passed pawns are a chess player's worst enemy.
Yeah.
Here they come. They can't stop, won't stop.
Oof, F6.
And they say never play F6. Come on. That's
F5, F6. Yeah, that's usually actually a pretty good move.
Oh, no. The end is near. Of this, I am certain.
Yeah.
Ooh, that wasn't the right way for the king.
Yeah, King G6 would have been game.
If F7 check, because now the pawn is hanging on G7. That's still.
Oh, don't flag! Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
Move.
And drop the pawn.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh! Black is no way.
Back in the game.
Oh my gosh! But this is the same endgame.
This is the same endgame. Ricky
Same
said.
endgame. No. After all of that saving,
Wow.
it's the same exact thing that happened with Phenom Monkey.
Same exact thing. Yeah. Why like
Where the
blundered
rooks
both
got
pawns
treated and the king was too close.
man, and the B pawn actually, queen and B pawn. Exact same.
Oh,
Wow.
dang. Well, that's checkmate right now. And
Oh,
what's
boy.
interesting, oh my gosh! Of course, F7 check and King E6. Mistakes come in pairs, so we keep talking about this. The king went to E6 rather than to G6, where F7 would be checkmate or Rook E8 would be checkmate, depending on what Black did. But here, after the pawn was lost, I guess Black should have just kept checking, like Rook A7, Rook A6, until White just went after the queenside pawn. That's still winning for White, but at least it wouldn't have lost on the spot.
Right, that would have been yeah, but I mean, good job just to even see like Rick A7 check. I mean, like yeah, just to. Actually, I kind of feel like Black's move Rook D8 was just a nice practical try because at least you just force White to find the way to win. But yeah, King G6 would have been the easiest, and then just F7.
Right. Just force checkmate here. But well done by both these players. Like, Mommy held it together after it looked like things were getting out of hand, and for Hasita just to get back in the game on a really well played game by Mami. Like just the H4, H5, can make sure all the pieces were doing work together. So I think that was a deserved win in the end. But you're up
Yeah,
7-4.
both
There
games
are
well
four
played.
games remaining, which means that if your team wins a single game,
Oh man.
one more game, the match is over.
All right, no
I mean,
pressure,
it's
guys.
we'll still play, but oh gosh, okay. All right, well, next one up is Junkmaster and Thor Biddles. So both players, good luck. Mute the streams and whatnot, and let's go. Oh, one second. My player is not in live chess.
All good.
One sec.
Yeah, good luck, guys. Yeah, well done, mommy. I mean, really well played in the middle games there. Of course, I know that the time scrambles get super stressful, but you handled it absolutely fine.
Yeah. One sec. All right, game is underway, and Thor Biddles with a very adorable cat as the profile photo. Are we getting
Yeah.
a Smith Mora?
Oh yeah, Thorvald's he's a wild man. Loves to
Oh
sack
no.
pawns.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, I think intention's currently pretty clear with Queen to B3.
Right. Wow, knight b5. Yeah, very hyper aggressive.
I have no idea of the theory in this line.
Yeah. Neither do I. I mean, honestly,
But
against the Smith Mora as black, I just play knight f6 on move 3, and
right.
I just say, you know what? No.
You're like, let's go to the Alapin.
Yeah.
Let's not stay in the Smith Mora. But right now, the king on E8 looking like it's in a bit of a tough spot here.
And I actually knight b5 very instructive move. Like a lot of times we see e6 and g6, and this is usually the way to kind of take advantage by going after this d6 square.
Yeah, and I like Black's response because it was hard to cover the D6 square, so at least this is creating a threat elsewhere
Mm-hmm.
with the fork of the queen and the bishop there.
Yeah. Oh, queen b4.
I actually have no idea how to evaluate this position. It's like an extra pawn for Black, but White's obviously attacking, although, you know, like how great is the attack? Pieces may be a bit loose. Can Black sort of finish the development? Hard to judge.
Yeah.
Okay, super aggressive.
Wow, knight g5. Yeah, especially after this move, I do like white's position just because I love the just the pressure you get with this knight on d6.
Mm-hmm.
But in blitz, I found it can be hard to play these positions because it's like you gotta be very accurate with white. Like one mistake and then you're just down a pawn or
Right.
maybe more sometimes.
And that knight came to c6. I probably would have put the other knight in c6, which is a near impossible move
Right.
to find in a blitz game. But the fact that you're walking into a discover check doesn't actually pan out because the knight attacks the queen on b4. There's nowhere to go with that knight on d6. Still a very loose position for black, but still, I think that knight could have made a journey over there. So queen to b3. All right. Now, how to continue here? Those knights, man, on g5 and d6.
Yeah.
And the extra time for white.
Yeah, it looks nice.
And I just also hate these decisions where, like, for white, so many different moves look good, and then you make the wrong one. You're like, what? Where'd my good position go?
Yeah. Happens in classical to me.
Yeah. And I think Thor Bill is doing a very good job slowing down right now, trying to figure out what to do. You can see in the time spent in the last two moves 10 seconds, 13 seconds, 23 seconds, and then now still thinking here. Once you get out of what you know for certain, that opening stage, you really have to buckle down and start using all your brain power. And it's a complicated position.
Yeah, very complicated. Okay, spending a lot of time, but I mean, yeah, it is critical or it feels very sharp. Though I would like to just see. I guess okay. He's worried. Yeah, he's worried about this exactly. Knight a5.
Wow, and that was very quickly played, hitting the queen there. Um, Now Thor still thinking. I mean, still remains complicated.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Oh, I don't know if I.
that's a Botez gambit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Queen f3 had to be the move there.
Yeah, Queen f3 was sizzling for White instead of Bishop takes e6.
Yeah, but okay, it looks like well, good defense by Black. I mean, hangs on, finds this Knight a5 idea, and yeah, I would play on here. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, actually, Black's king isn't safe. There could be some sneaky attack that you have to watch out for. And well, with that knight gone, and then seems like White's running out of pieces to attack with.
Yeah, now, yeah, I think if Bishop takes b3, then okay, at least some difficulties, but yeah, I think he just got a little bit nervous there, messed up the calculation.
Indeed. Yeah, now it's just desperate attempts just to drum up any sort of play against the Black King. Unfortunately for Thor Biddles, nothing happening, and well, Junkmaster's taking.
Oh no!
Oh, moving too quickly.
Oh
Up a minute
no!
on the clock. Like Black is fortunate because the position still looks really nice, better pawn structure, even material, but you can't play so quickly.
Yeah, Rick takes f5. Yeah, Black's response was very fast there. Oh man, tough lesson, but you always have to like. I mean, it's kind of a balance. Like you want to, you don't want to give your opponent too much credit, but you don't want to give them too little credit as well. You always want to make
Right.
sure they don't have something up their sleeve, but still, yeah, definitely, you take Black here every time. Much more active.
Oh yeah, and the better pawn structure, active pieces, don't have king problems. In fact, the king on f6, or the king was on e5 before. It's pretty well placed. So a clear pull for Black, but in a couple moves, White could probably try to get things in. I love that move g5.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, bishop d2, just very hang on by thread. a6, very nice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, stepping out of the pin. That was pretty clear what White's intentions were. And there was a pretty big threat of Rook takes f5 with a fork before, so.
Yeah, now Black played very well. So one thing Junkmaster doing that I think we should give them credit for is like, they're probably frustrated for blundering the queen back, but they didn't start. They didn't just start to like blitz it out. They've actually just kind of slowed down and started playing like really solid chess.
Right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, some good moves made by both, and there was,
There was Rook f5, yeah.
yeah, it looked like that was attacked there, and
Oh
unfortunately went
no.
the other way.
Oh no. But all right, yeah. Thorvald's
Yeah,
had a tough game.
yeah. Now it's just an extra piece, and the pawns will promote. So, yeah, now there's no material left to even get any hopes for White. Unfortunately, wow, that was a crazy game.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was pretty back and forth.
And looks like Black's just pre-moving all these moves.
Yeah, when I see this many pre-moves, I often get nervous because I'm like,
Y-
okay, yeah, relax. You have like,
Yeah,
oh, this is exactly what happened last time, by the way. Like, White basically put the king on h3, and then after queen g1, it was stalemate.
yeah. Oh my gosh, can you imagine that? Wow, that could have happened. Not quite, I guess. It was never possible, but the
Yeah, he's
king
never in
g4
time. Right.
and like if like king b5, we'll say was played, the king queen g1 stalemate. That would be beyond tragic.
Yeah. That would have been brutal.
But yeah, that game was really wild. I don't know Smith Moore theory, but I think White was just cruising early on. Queen B3. This already looks difficult for maybe E6 is wrong because this Knight B5 move was so powerful. I guess Knight A5 to start with is probably right because Bishop F7 check, King F8, and I don't think that the Queen and the Bishop can stay in the same line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
that
I
might be a better
imagine
move.
that's was the way for Black to close that early Knight A5.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that. Yeah, no, well played, Thorgos. I mean, it was a good opening. Okay, it splits. That happens. We blunder. Then we got back into the game. I mean, that was cool. We were very close.
That was wild. And well, in the end, my team needed that one because your team still is one game away from winning this match. So I actually need to check is my player here because no. Uh, is our Tejedor here? Because I need a. You weren't responding earlier, so I want to make sure that my player is still here. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to sub you out.
Yeah, and we're
Okay.
looking for Thinker 4. Make sure you're in live chess. Because I'm not able to follow you.
So we'll just double forfeit them.
Yeah, we might. They were here earlier. They checked in, but I haven't seen them in a while.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. What? I'm just gonna keep saying that until the players sign online and get this game going.
Yeah. Yeah, Thinker, let me know if you're around. And if not, we might need a different player for the 2000 to 2100 bracket.
Yeah, I have someone saying that they could play as a substitute.
Yanan, what's your chess.com blitz? Are you between 2000 2100? Okay, I have some very very low rated players offering to play for your team if you're interested.
Oh, I see how it is. Okay. Just trying to sabotage my squad here.
Okay, blitz 1900. So we have a 1900 available that could play.
You have 1900. Okay. Let's see. Do I have a? Oh, I have a maybe another 2100. One second. Someone's telling me they're 2000, but it says they're 1500.
Hmm.
So I don't. I feel like I'm being lied to.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Douglas is available. Okay, so we have a 2076. All right, Douglas, you're definitely in if Robert has a player in this range. But yeah, that happens all the time. It's like, hey guys, we need a 1600, and they're like, I'm 2100. Can I play?
Yeah. I'm just checking. Also, we're gonna have to figure out. I mean, depends. Oh, I guess Junk Master says they're willing to play again. uh,
Funny. What about? I see you have Bellicus on your roster.
yeah, I'm asking if Bellicus is around.
Cool.
But yeah, I was gonna say, depending on what happens in the next two games, we'll have to figure out the top board situation because of the lopsided rating
Right.
discrepancy. Oh, Bellicus is here. Cool. You're in. edit this.
All right, and Douglas, remind me, is your chess.com username the same as your Twitch? And also, can you, if you have time, quickly go to the Douglas too. Gotcha. If you don't mind going to the Arena page, arena.jail/events. Link is in the chat. If you can quickly sign up for the sub battle, I can put you in. For now, I'll just let Robert know your username.
Okay.
So it's Douglas with two S's, and then U2 at the end. I'll type it in Discord.
Okay. We'll just copy and paste from there. And
All right, Douglas is in. Perfect.
all right, Bela, is it okay that my play? Oh, what's your player's rating? 2000.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
What?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
close enough.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very close in rating. All right, Bela Kiss, Douglas, both of you, good luck, and let's get this match going.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
Oh, it looks like Bela won a few games since since signing up.
And like national master title. Damn it.
Yeah, and has a chess academy. Bela's been typed from Lower Bucks Chess Academy. That's cool.
Oh, very cool. Now, okay, Douglas played for us once before, and this was such an amazing game because, like, basically was playing all right, but like super, super slow. Got down to I think like 10 seconds against like 2 minutes, and the position was like equal. But then, just started blitzing like I've never seen before. Almost like again like they kind of shut off, and a blitz demon showed up for in their spot.
Hey, do I need to press start, by the way, on the arena again?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Cool. All right. Yeah, but this match right now, it looks like White knows the opening a bit better, playing extremely quickly, and that's the nature of the exchange Slav. It's 100% symmetrical. I mean, it's a mirror image. The players have this, not a mirror image, just the players have their piece in the same squares until knight e4 was just played. So that was the first difference between the two, and then White played the very principal knight a4, which avoids the trade of knights, and this knight on c3 goes to a4, often to try to go to c5 later.
Yeah. Yeah, really solid here by White, and I'm expecting just like simple rook c1 here. There it is. Rook fc8. Okay, grandmaster move using the f rook.
Yep.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
less of a grandmaster.
that's unfortunate because b4 felt threatening, so Black reacted without considering what that a7 pawn was doing in the moment. Of course, Douglas is more than strong enough to see that fork, just in the blitz game in the heat of the moment, did not see it, and Bela jumps that knight to b6, and now jumps the other knight to e5, so it's a clean extra exchange. And I would say the worst part about it is that White has the only open file. So when you have an extra rook, you want to use open files, and right now White has it.
Yeah, just a clean exchange. Some squares for Black in the position, but yeah, I like b5 there.
Yeah, that was a very good decision, but exactly. Getting the knight to c4, that's huge.
So small just like practical compensation, because just not the easiest position for White to convert.
White was like 2 moves away of getting the other rook to c1, but now you plugged the file.
Mm-hmm.
And oh gosh, both players
knight d2.
overlooking that. Yeah, knight forks have been the problem for both players in this game.
All right, wow, very nice. Okay, so kind of equalizing, and
you know what's interesting about that, Kostya, is I get that it's not easy to do this, but I was wondering if a takes b5. That knight was trapped on f1, so I was wondering if instead of bishop takes f1, which was pre-moved, if a takes b5 could have been thrown in, but it's not very clear. Like knight takes e3, then even b takes a6, and just keep grabbing queenside pawns.
Yeah, yeah. One of those just like almost like invisible tactics sometimes.
Right. What did you think about the decision to trade rooks for white? Like, should white just take on a6 with the bishop instead?
That would have been my instinct. I feel like earlier White was kind of worried about getting his rook trapped on c6, so he kind of like just trades it off. But yeah, I think could have maybe kept a little bit more activity keeping the rooks on.
Yeah, I feel like black couldn't really easily move at this point, so bishop takes a6 would have kept black frozen, whereas rook takes a6 freed up the queen immediately to go to the b6 square, and then now the pawn gets to a3, and whose pawn is faster and better?
Yeah, I honestly, I'm not sure. Very, very tricky position for me to evaluate. Oh,
Oh
that
my
was a good
gosh.
find. Oh, that was very nice.
Oh my goodness. That is wow. And King H7 was played very quickly. That was a moment to spend some time, right? That was like, oh, I'm getting checked. I'm immediately moving my king away. But I guess queen back to d8 or bishop to d8 would have stopped this bishop c7 idea.
Yeah. Okay, now Douglas is thinking. Yeah, I don't think it's quite over, but we'll see.
Definitely still plenty to play for here. But it's one of these situations where, I mean, Douglas is fortunate the game's not just over. And exactly
Nice
a2,
a2.
giving up one queen to get a new one. But, it could have been a moment where you're thinking too late.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, if there was no a2, that was a very fortunate resource. But okay, white white keeps the b pawn, but bishop e6. Yeah, good find.
Very good find.
And now, I mean, honestly, I feel like I might take black here. Yeah, queen f1.
Yeah, this is looking very bad for white.
Yeah, now time for white to think and figure this out.
Okay, so that's why I didn't like queen f1 so much, because it allowed the queen to get back. Queen b2, and then bishop e4 probably would have just led to checkmate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And Douglas,
controlling the seventh rank.
sorry, I was going to say Douglas, I think, is scared about that b pawn because he is down material, but this is not a position where you want to be materialistic. Who cares about the b5 pawn? White's king is really in trouble. So he probably will win that b pawn, and if that pawn is gone, it's just even across the rest of the board, and that's why Baylor went queen to b2, said not so fast. And great move g5.
G5. Yeah, so you're right. I would have for like bishop e4 and then g5, but I think it's kind of like white did him the favor of defending the b pawn, so now he realizes, oh, I have to play on the king side.
Right.
Now it's man, bishop c5, good.
Mm-hmm. And under 20 seconds, so not the easiest position to play with under 20 seconds. Oh, that's not the right decision.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that bishop had to go to b8 because look at this move, queen f6, threatening f7, trying to take back on f4.
yeah. Queen f6 is very strong.
Wow, what a turnaround. Oh no, this loses for black. Oh, it's really unfortunate. Yeah, you would think that trading queens should win for black because you're up a pawn, but white's pawns are stronger, and the white king stops the e pawn.
King f2 is very accurate move.
Yeah, the pawn just goes. Wow, I mean, that game was a
Whew.
50-50.
Yeah, well played though. Very well played at the end there by white.
Yeah. Uh, oh my gosh. I think Douglas, the initial blunder, of course, was the fork. And then after that, I'm not sure if Douglas realized how good his position was getting. And because he also overlooked queen c8 check, bishop c7. So when you're just missing tactics, he had built up a nice position so he could afford it to some degree. But I think that he just probably felt not fully in the game because he was overlooking things he normally wouldn't.
Yeah. No, really, yeah, really fascinating struggle and very close there. Yeah, I think you're right. Just like almost like a problem with evaluation. Didn't feel like he thought he's better or like on the attack. At least that was my take.
It's actually unbelievable that blundering your queen and getting a trap like wins for black.
Right.
This was definitely winning for black after bishop d6 check and the
Yeah.
queen, I think, b2 and bishop e4. There's no way to stop the mate on g2.
Right.
That is unbelievable, honestly.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
but really well played.
Yeah, and survival by Bela there because now the match continues. Oof. It's a neat against. I'm not. How do you pronounce that?
I just say Royeho.
Royal. That
Yeah. That's
sounds
how I've been
good.
saying it. And I haven't
Oh
been corrected
gosh.
yet. Hopefully you
Wow.
are ready.
All right. Let's do it. Okay.
All right.
Now we have a Caracan again. All right.
Both
Ooh.
players seem to know this. A3.
Mm-hmm. A3 just a useful move to take away the B4 square, but also to give it to white so that you can fianchetto. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big Caracan fan. How about you, Kostya?
I really like it for kind of beginners that just want something simple and solid. I like it a
Sure.
lot more than the French for improving players. Because I used to
uh,
play the French, and it's just not worth it.
and I meant for you personally, like in your own games. How do you feel about the Caracan?
I've never really played it. So what my trajectory was, I played the French for many years, and then
Mm-hmm.
at one point, Melikachin told me like, you clearly like the space advantage. Why don't you just play e5 on move one? And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So I switched over to e5, and then I started playing c5, and since then I've never put pawns on the sixth rank. I just stopped doing it.
Well, you didn't just play C5. You wrote a whole book on the Sicilian, right? So
That's true. Yeah, yeah,
you're being so modest. That was like how many pages is that book? It's long.
yeah.
It's very thorough.
It was big. I mean, it was a full white repertoire, and it was
Yeah.
like 600 pages.
Right.
But it was worth it because I mean, I learned so much researching that book that I felt like that did wonders for my own chess understanding.
And it's funny because when people write books or when they've really researched a certain opening, you would think that for the most part, oh, they would never play it as the other color. But sometimes you learn a lot about how to best play it for the other side, and you may
Yeah.
get converted into like a Caracan player, and in your case, a Sicilian player, because of that. You know, you're writing the book made from how to beat it, but then you're like, well, it's not easy to beat, so let's try it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like before that I'd never played the Sicilian, but I learned so many ideas from Black's point of view how things can kind of go wrong for White, and I realized like actually it's a very dynamic opening, and if White misplays it even by one move, Black can often overtake the initiative. So it's actually just like very fun opening to play. I think everyone should play the Sicilian at some point. I think it's just like you're doing yourself a disservice by not trying it out.
Absolutely, is a fantastic and super fun opening, and doesn't have the symmetry, so the board is usually not locked up. And by the way, a neat. I thought it was playing an excellent start to this game,
Yeah.
has great control, but then this G3 Knight G2 idea by Ryoho here, and C4 trying to undermine black structure, it's getting messy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, looked really good for Black, but now at least yeah, some hope for White. If he had, maybe on the last move, if he had played like Rook E8 to just support the E pawn, then he could push D4 and
Right.
just totally dominating.
And now, on the other hand, the queen with d4 check. That knight on g2 is really a heroic piece because it's protecting that king on h1 both by covering the e3 square and also closing the diagonal, which if opened up would be scary. So it's a very important piece.
Yeah. Wow, Knight B3.
Wow, that's actually a fantastic move.
Very nice. Yeah.
And look at how quickly Royo is playing.
Yeah, he's doing great. I mean, actually, just the other day he played in one of our training arenas. I mean, I think he was like low 2000s, so he's really been on a nice streak. By the way, shout out to Anit's profile picture. I'm pretty sure this is a character from the only anime I've seen, which is Death Note, which is very
Hmm.
good. If even if you don't like anime, I would recommend it because I'm not an anime person. But yeah,
I have historically not watched anime, but everyone is recommending Death Note. So at some point, I will check it out.
yeah, yeah. That was definitely my story. Just someone hasn't really watched a whole lot, but got into Death Note, and yeah, very enjoyable.
Well, speaking of enjoyable, I think that White is going to enjoy this light square diagonal and the pin.
Oh yeah, Queen B3, so natural.
Oh, this is scary. Uh oh. Uh oh.
Man, everything. Man, Royho just playing great. Very very happy for him.
Yep.
And now this knight on G2 comes in.
What that knight was the hero
Wow.
that White needed, not necessarily the one that he deserved, but and that looks like that's all that he needs.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah, Rook F5, I think. Yeah, forced there.
Yeah, I must say I don't love the decision to take that knight on d5. The knight was still pinned, so there was no rush to do it. And White is, of course, doing great, but you look at the White King on h1 and still feel like there's some work to do.
Yeah, I would say this is still far from over.
And actually, great time to start thinking for Royho because he knows that he is up material. He should be able to win this game, but instead of just hoping to flag Anit, who's a very strong player, saying, "Let me win this on the board."
Yeah. Yeah, still need to make good moves here for white. Which I like Rook D4.
Mm-hmm. I did as well. Okay, took with that rook, so he gives away the pin. Oh, but he's got this move. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice here. Okay, where's the like knockout? Oh,
Ooh, Queen D3. That was very
there it is.
very nice move.
That's mate.
Yeah. Wow, GG. Nicely done, Royho.
Wow. Well, Kosi, you know what that means.
Yeah.
It means that you have officially won the match. I'm getting used to this. So for me, there's no upset when this happens. It's just you won. This is the closest my team has been, and it's not even close. I need no. Don't apologize. No one needs to apologize. You lose a game of chess, it happens. There's no apologies needed. So, anyway, we are now officially lost. So, congratulations to the chess dojo community, which means that Tayup and Tal's tactician can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I think they're friends. I'm sure they still want to play. So happy to just have them play like straight up. But no, I mean really close match, and I mean I have to say Anit was doing really well in that game. But I'm very impressed with Royho's play. I felt like from a worse position just started playing really well. Like starting with C4 and Knight B3, that was just very very good sequence of moves.
It
So
was, and Black's position looked so strong, and maybe that move knight on 18, knight f5 instead of going bishop h3 first. That probably was where Black took a step in the wrong direction because bishop h3 would have forced knight g2 anyway, and then after knight f5, you have threats of taking on g2 and bring your knight into. In fact, actually, might just be completely winning for Black.
hmm
So I would say that's where things started going wrong for Black, but you're 100% correct, Kostya, that c4 and then knight b3 was fantastic because you're sacrificing a pawn if the queens get traded and then d takes c4. But I guess it's in a knight c5, hits the bishop, hits the e4 pawn, hits the b7 pawn, pressure on c4 that white
yeah,
is just doing so well.
yeah, tons of compensation there. Yeah, well
Wow.
done. Well, I mean, cool thing about the arena, Robert. I don't know if you saw their message a few days ago, but I believe all the teams are getting into the playoffs. So you
Right.
guys will still have as much of a chance as anyone
Uh,
to win it all in the end.
okay, I don't know about that. As much of a chance as anyone, considering my team hasn't won yet. But there is a chance we'll be included, where the charity invitation. We'll take it. We're not opposed. We'll have fun.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, last game. Friends are now enemies, and Tayeb, Tal's tactician. Y'all gotta go.
All right. Hopefully you guys are ready. There we go.
I don't even care if Tayeb's ready. Just gonna play.
And these guys
Tayeb,
are friends. I like that one has the United Kingdom flag and the other one just has England. So,
I wonder if they're trash talking behind the scenes.
yeah, they might be.
Okay, knight c3. Turning this into like a Pirt's modern.
Hmm.
Whoa. Are we sure they didn't just want to play a bullet game?
Yeah, so fast. Wow.
I like White's spatial advantage. This pawn jumped up to a5. The bishop on g2 is better than his counterpart on c8. So I would say White has the better position on the opening.
Yeah. Now black is thinking, although this is a moment where I feel like black's move should be pretty fast here. Though maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, I think
Yeah,
a6 felt like just automatic.
for sure. I'm guessing, I mean, these players are quite strong. So what Kosi and I are going to be talking about here is maybe a little bit deeper, but I think Tal's tactician was trying to make c6 at some point work, and the combination of a6 and c6 is usually pretty ugly, right? Because then you give away all the dark squares.
Hmm.
Wow, and that was
Oh yeah, very typical trick. Knight d5.
Hib is playing extremely well right now.
Yeah. Now, one thing I've learned about these positions lately is that like it's often not the end of the world to give up the c7 pawn, but it is. It doesn't feel like this is what black was anticipating, so it feels like a blunder.
For sure. And h6 played, you get why that move was chosen, but that's an inaccuracy, unfortunately for Tal's tactician. So,
Yeah.
and the big problem is that c7 hits that rook on a8 because sometimes you give up the c7 pawn, your rook gets down to d2, you're all happy. But in this particular game, once the knight captures on c7 next, the rook on 8 has to move first, and then white has enough time to keep that rook out.
Wow, look at this 97 check. Look at that.
What? Oh my goodness. And Teo's playing this like a bullet game.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I thought it was a nice decision at first. Now I'm not sure,
I actually kind of love it.
but it's good, right? Let's
Yeah.
see. Bishop
Bishop d3,
d3,
for sure.
and there's no. Yeah, e4 doesn't seem. Actually, I don't know.
It's what he'll play, and it might net black in exchange, but white will have two pawns, and most importantly, that passed a pawn that the bishop will help escort up the board.
Yeah, that light square bishop is going to be really strong. But very instructive moment. Like he didn't just take on c7 because that is of course what I was expecting, but he sees that he has like knight e7 check and maybe even possibly better this whole transformation.
Yeah, I was just looking at knight takes c7. I didn't even think of a knight e7 check. So wow, what a good moment. And clearly, Tab didn't see e4 because he's now thinking as a response.
Right.
And understanding that he's going to lose in exchange. The bishop on g7 will hit the rook on a1. And so if bishop takes e4, rook to b4 is the point. And that would give black some material back. Still has problems, though.
Yeah. Yeah, very important whether yeah, the player was expecting this. Actually, I just read, I don't know if you follow Dr. Huberman. He has this like really cool science podcast. But he made this tweet today that was like he made this point about trauma, and he was saying like one of the most important things about trauma, trying to get this right, is that like the critical detail is whether a human has like purposefully put themselves in that state. Because like I think the point he's trying to get at is like when you think about like working out, like exercise can be very stressful on your body, but because you're doing it willingly, it kind of like feels good and you get a lot of endorphins.
Interesting.
Versus if it's like unwilling, then it can feel
Right.
like trauma. So I feel like similar thing in chess. Like if you expect e4, then you're totally fine. But if it's unexpected for you, then you're like, oh no, I blundered, and it might end up messing with your psychology.
No, I think it's very true. And
But now
that's a good quote.
he's figured it out. I think now he's okay. Rook c4. Okay, so it's not totally over yet.
Now it's trying to get some big counterplay here and taking his time trying to figure out. He knows he's better, but how to make this all work. And it's a serious battle right now. They may be friends, but they've been showing us some good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, really interesting game. And he's thinking at I think the right moment.
Agreed. Really dipping on the clock, though.
Yeah.
Down 40 seconds. I never thought I'd see the day, considering how quickly he started this game.
Right. No, really, he's calculating something deep here.
And there was a very good question in the chat, and I think both players fully aware of this. Someone asked, "Does White want to trade a pair of rooks?" And the answer, as was answered, is no, because uh, the rook behind the pass pawn is very powerful. If Black was able to trade off the rook, then they instead could put the rook behind the pass pawn and stop it. And Bishop b7, I was highlighting it. Coach, excellent move
Yeah.
to help escort the a pawn off the board.
Yeah, so a6 there would have been met by c6, and the pawn is stuck. So he goes bishop b7 first. Definitely the right move. I just feel like he spent way too long on it. But now Black's in big trouble, because this a pawn might end up costing him a full rook.
I wonder what exactly he was thinking about, because Bishop b7 is definitely a move Tayeb can see pretty quickly. So there must be some variation that we might soon see that was causing him some concern.
Yeah.
And that's what often happens in chess, right? Where players spend so much time, like, what are they doing? Why are they still thinking? And the reason is they want to play that move, but they're looking 7 moves down the line.
Right. And
Nice move.
yeah, very well played here by White. c4. I also like rook b6 because he's like kind of stopping bishop c6, but okay, now this shouldn't be enough.
Yeah, the a pawn is promoting. The very best Black can do is give up a rook for the pawn, and then you'd be down a piece. So here it goes. Yeah, this is game.
Yeah. Well, very nice technique there. Yeah. By Tayeb.
So I wonder, Kostya, if after bishop b7, rook b4, a6, I'm like trying to make rook b8 and an exchange sacrifice rook. Maybe that's what Ted was thinking about, because evaluating that position properly is not so easy, and it's critical that you assess it as winning for White rather than just giving Black good drawing chances.
Yeah, you're saying rook b8 after a6?
Yeah, so rook b4 on after bishop b7, a6, and rook b8, because you're just trying to sacrifice the exchange, get that pawn. So you'll be down a pawn in the ensuing rook endgame, but with a 4-on-3 on the king side and then just one pawn on the queen side, maybe there's some chances, even though I think White's winning that position.
Yeah. So if White goes bishop c6, you're thinking like rook 4 b6?
I was
Or
going to rook b1 check.
oh, rook b1 check. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, just that's it's because the bishop was on b7. It's like hard to like think about that the bishop shouldn't move. But yeah, I think that would allow the rook to get behind the pawn, which is what Black needs. And otherwise, I'm just sacrificing my rook for the bishop.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think that would have been the way. Yeah, I totally missed that rook b1 check. I thought rook b8, bishop c6, and problems. But yeah, rook b1 saves the day.
And maybe after, this is actually pretty interesting. So Black is threatening to take on b7.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not even sure, so I'm just speculating now. I think a7 is like ultra precise, because then you have to take rook 4 takes b7, otherwise you're just down a piece. And then after takes on b8, rook takes b8, you get this move rook a7 in,
Yeah.
which is extremely critical. It's clutch, because now you have a very active approach and Black has to sit passively. Whereas if instead Black was able to sacrifice on b7, like let's say king g2 instead of a7, and you get this exchange sack on b7. Now Black's rook can go down to b2 or something like that, or stay on b7, but at least the rook is actively participating rather than sitting and just defending c7 from c8.
Yeah, totally. That's such a nice nuance. It's like GM level nuance there. But it makes a lot of sense. Like you get the same rook endgame, but with a very active rook. I mean, it feels well. It feels good for white.
These are the really critical, essential things. And then I know I play games and I miss just like a little something like that, and I make a draw, and it's not even as much about the result as much as like putting that pressure on your opponent. And I'm sure you can speak to this as well, Kostya. These games where I make a draw from a better position, I'm not even upset that I drew the game. I'm more upset that I didn't have an advantage for even longer and make my opponent sweat more. And this is like one of those exact moments where you just make a careless king g2 instead of the precise a7 to get your rook to a7 and cause black some serious problems. So
Yeah.
I
No,
don't know, I always appreciate those moments.
always amazes me. Yeah, especially you see it in like really high level blitz games where like they have like 10 seconds on their clock, but they're still throwing in like little in between checks, and they're finding if you remember the World Championship Rapid between Magnus and Fabi, I think it was game 1 where Magnus finds this like amazing like rookie 7 check in the rook end game and
Yep.
wins this like crucial tempo, like seconds on their clocks, and wins the first game. I mean, just like truly remarkable how quickly they see those details.
And it's the biggest difference maker of them all, especially at that level where people often ask what's the difference between a grandmaster and a super grandmaster, and what's the difference between a 2750 and a 2800, because there's a clock on the game. If you gave them all 24 hours per move, I'm not sure we'd see all that many decisive results.
Right.
But with the clock as a part of the game, Magnus is exceptional at finding these little things here and there to put more pressure on his opponents or surviving tough positions. And Hikaru in quicker time controls, he is unbelievable at that as well. So I think that's one of the biggest difference makers. So in order to improve, I do really recommend. Have you read Cherishevsky's Endgame Strategy?
Yeah. Yeah. Classic
Coach?
book. Hmm.
Yeah, right. Like total classic. And I have honestly not read many chess books in my life, just a handful. But that book was like amazing to me because you get these positions where you think, oh, these GMs are just going to agree on a draw. But no, you see how one side just figures out little things here and there to improve the position. Very Karpovian.
Yeah. Yeah. Do not hurry. It's the classic tip. Just don't hurry in the end game.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, Coach, you handed my team another defeat.
I'm really sorry, guys.
You sound very sorry. It sounds like you're really meaning that.
Well, I am happy for the dojo because they really try hard. But no, I mean your team played great. I mean, with all these things, I feel like it's always a toss up. I mean, the players are usually very equally rated, and it can go either way, as we've seen.
Hmm.
It's just sometimes bad luck.
Also, we should give an extra shout out to Tal's Tactician for taking on his much higher rated opponent, even odds. And I'm looking at the game chat. I don't know if you saw that open. Coach, they're just talking about the game still.
Oh
They're
yeah,
they've been talking about a bunch of different things in the opening and what they were thinking about. So that's pretty cool.
nice. Yeah, I always love seeing that. There was a few players I noticed after the games. They're like, "GG, well played." That always warms my heart. I'm glad to see
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it is really nice to see that. Sometimes people get angry about losing and start saying things they shouldn't. Other times people just don't say anything at all. But it's really nice to extend that courtesy, good gamesmanship to your opponent.
Yeah, yeah, I like to see
So,
that.
are you gonna keep streaming?
Um, no, I think we are gonna finish it up here. Um, so I'm gonna, yeah, probably go get some lunch.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm not gonna keep streaming, so that's why I was, gonna either raid you or now I guess we should both raid somebody else.
I guess
So
we could raid the same channel if you want. That could be kind of fun.
you know what would be even more fun if we both raid the same channel but without telling each other, like we have that telepathy going on. What do you think the odds are we'd be able to do that?
maybe like 1 in 6. I'm seeing a lot of like chess.com channels streaming, so
Uh,
1 in 5
uh,
maybe.
all right, so I'm gonna be honest. I'll tell you. So, who was the first channel that you were thinking about rating? I'll be honest with what my thought was.
Okay, so we generally like to raid some of the smaller channels. I probably would have rated Fiona, just looking at this list.
I was gonna rate Chess Queen.
Oh, Chess Queen. Oh, we don't even follow Chess Queen. We can raid Chess Queen.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's a blunder on our end.
It's completely understandable. I like follow nobody on social media, including on Twitch, so it's like totally normal. But I do follow Chess Queen. And I saw that she was streaming. But you said Fiona. You can go to Fiona. We don't have to go to the same channel. We can have Fiona's doing a charity stream. So in fact, it would
That is nice.
be like bad not to rate Fiona.
Yeah, bad juju.
Yeah,
But Robert, thanks so much for this. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed commenting with you.
it was a blast.
I would also love to invite you to come participate on the Gauntlet. I don't know if you've seen our show, but
Oh,
it's
I know about the Gauntlet. People have asked me to join the Gauntlet, and I just never have gotten my life together enough to do so. But I will talk, and I definitely should do it. I would have a great time, I think.
yeah. David basically books that, but there's a growing prize fund. And it's a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm sure our chat would love to see you on there. So hopefully we see you soon.
For sure, man. I would love to.
Um,
All right.
all
Well,
right.
I'll let you say bye to your chat. I'll say bye to mine, and well, it was fun. I'm glad that we did this, and I'm a little sad that my team lost, but I am happy that your team won.
Thanks, man. Have a good one. This was a blast.
See ya. See ya.
All right, guys. Yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for the stream. Well done, everyone. Really nice job, everyone who played. I know not everyone won, but I mean the games were honestly like pretty pretty high level. Like we had a few blunders, but honestly, I felt like their team played well and they deserved all the games they won. And yeah, well done, guys. So we are now, I think, 2-2 in the league, so that's cool. Like I mentioned, I think everyone is getting into the playoffs, which are going to be starting in a couple weeks once all the matches are done, and then it's going to be like a knockout. So we'll see who we play in the first round. But yeah, hopefully it was good training for you guys. Royoho, Mami, Traffic Skin, call me LVB. Really, really nice job, everyone. Bob Joe Jim got the win in the end, Francis. So yeah, nice job, everyone. Let's see. There's going to be the Scrubs will be streaming today at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So that's starting in about 2.5 hours. So stay tuned for that. But for now, I think I'm going to sign off, and yeah, we'll go raid Fiona, who's doing a charity stream. So let's go support. I always love charity streams. I feel like I feel like the dojo should. We did one a little while ago. We raised some funds for cancer research, but we should try to do some more soon. But yeah, guys, hopefully you had fun. Stay tuned for Scrubs coming up in a couple hours, and I will see you all next time. Thanks again for everyone who played. Hopefully you had a good time. And yeah, I'll probably be back streaming sometime tomorrow. So see y'all. Have a good one.